Hi, welcome back everybody to Dress to Quest. I'm Nathan. I'm going to be your DM this evening, afternoon, morning perhaps, depending on where you are. And I'm going to pass it over to our players so they can do some quick intros. And then we're going to do a little recap and jump right in. So let me send us over here. I'm going to start with, on my screen here, I'm going to start with Chris. Go ahead.
Sorry, just making sure my mic is on.
That's all right.
Hello, everybody. I'm Chris, and I play Aize Marley, a human wizard. Glad you could join us today.
Awesome. And let's go over to Erica.
All right. Hi, I'm Erica. I play Rin Swiftbow, the group's elf ranger.
Awesome. And Jack?
G'day everyone, I'm Jack. I'm the owner of Project H2. I play Sethreth Bloodtongue, a half-orc barbarian. Let's rage out.
Awesome. And Eric?
Hey guys, I'm Eric Wahlberg. I play Bulwark the Grey. He's a rune knight and bard, and he's very much human. Ready to go.
Awesome. And let's go to Space.
Hey guys, I'm Space. I play an Asimar. I'm so sorry. I totally blanked out.
That's all right. You're good. You're good.
I play Aspen, the Asimar sorcerer warlock. That's what I play.
Got it. Let's finally pass it to Josh. Oh, it looks like Josh maybe is frozen. Josh, are you with us? Are you able to pop open your mic? You there?
I think I'm frozen. Are you guys talking to me?
Yes, you're good. Go ahead. You can do your intro. Maybe.
Okay, sorry. Everything's frozen on my side, so I'm just going blind right now. Anyways, I'm Josh Sterrett, also known as Winged Horizon. You can find me on all the social medias that way. I play Shifty Capone, who is a halfling rogue and is quite feisty. Looking forward to showing you a little bit more of him tonight.
Excellent. And yeah, Josh, you are a bit choppy on our side, so I'm gonna do the recap, and maybe during that recap you can see if fiddle with some things on your side. I don't know. But let's before we do the recap, does anybody in our group want to give any announcements or talk about anything? Are we all good? Okay.
All good. I got some goodies to show you at our half break time.
Excellent, excellent. All right, well, with that, let's do a really quick recap here and jump into the story that we have before us. So, last time we left off, we saw our group of adventurers assault a ship off the Sword Coast. They handily dispatched the pirates aboard and managed to knock unconscious the captain, tying him up. They are aboard this ship looking for something. What exactly it is not entirely clear yet. And two of the members, Shifty and Aspen, seem to have ulterior motives, going below decks and destroying all these barrels of scotch, it appears, for some reason. We finished the session with everyone starting to gather on the upper deck of the ship as Sethreth was exploring the various chambers, and as Sethreth opened one of the doors into a chamber, within he saw three lizard folk that pushed up against the wall, looking towards him, letting out these almost bestial cries towards him and demanding to know what was going on. So, I am going to send us over to our players here. Let us go to this one. All right. So, with that, Sethreth, I would like to start with you. You've just opened this door, and inside these lizard folk have pushed up against the wall, looking at you, and they started to demand in kind of broken common, what's going on? Where are the weapons? What do you do, Sethreth?
Do a quick perception and see if there's any escape routes in the room.
All right.
If they can get out or not.
Yeah, go for it. Make a perception check for me.
And what we get? We got a 20.
A 20.
So sharp.
Oh my
sharp as a tack.
Yes, incredible.
So I'm looking to see if I close the door, is there any other way they can get out?
Got it. Oop, there goes my computer. Okay. With a 20, you start to search the room. They're all pushing up against the wall, and you see them grabbing spears, arming themselves, looking very on edge from all of this happening. The only other potential... There are 2 exits out of this room. You can see that there is a door at the western side, so going towards the bow of the ship. And they are all kind of pushed up against that wall where the door leads into some other chamber. On the starboard side of the ship, so to the north on the map, you do see there is a single porthole, but it is quite small, and these lizard folk are a good 8 feet tall. They're not going to be able to squeeze through there. They might be able to bust open the wall, but they're not going to be able to wriggle through. You also notice with the 20 perception that there are all these hammocks set up that they seem to have been using to sleep in. Underneath each hammock, there are small chests. You see one that it appears to be... It appears to have like rough hide stretched over it, and it looks different in construction than the others. The others look more like what you would expect, wooden with iron fittings and locks. And this one looks to be made differently. It has this rough hide stretched over it. The metalwork on it is a little less refined, and it's under the hammock to the most northern side of the room, kind of in the corner. And behind it, you notice there's this kind of mass of what look to be reeds, and crawling up out of the reeds, poking its head over the top of the chest, you see a slender, almost lizard-like creature with a snout and green scales, kind of looking up curiously into the room, seeing all this happen, and then you see a pair of leathery wings kind of folding up behind it on its back. This thing is maybe only the size of like a squirrel. It is very, very small. That's what you see in the room. What do you do?
So I look at them, to the chest, over to the small dragon-looking creature, lizard, back up to the one that seems to be doing the most talking. I advise you all put your weapons down. You're well outnumbered. Come peacefully, or I will kill you all.
Well, make an intimidation check for me.
All right. As I finish saying that, I let my red tongue flick around at my mouth to add to the
awesome
fear factor.
Awesome.
Persuasion or intimidation?
Intimidation, please.
All right. Let's get a lucky one here. That ain't lucky.
10. They don't put their weapons down. They just seem tense, holding their weapons out, looking at you. And the one that's been addressing you has these bright green scales with this like dark head crest that has these lime green accents streaking through it.
Yep.
This one looks at you. Who are you? You are not the ones we made the deal with.
They're all dead. It's our ship.
You say it's our ship? Okay.
Yeah, they're all dead. It's our ship now.
Fine. Then we will go on our way. Let us leave in peace if you've slain everyone else.
Oh, no. See, first I have to find out what you're doing with this mob. Once we're happy with you, we may let you live. If you put up a fight, you definitely die, and we'll just pick your bones for the information we want. Also, I like that little creature in the corner. I could use a pet.
The one with the green scales quickly darts its head over, and you see this little dragon-like creature kind of kind of scurry down, and the one with the green scales flicks its arm out, and it skitters across the ground, spiraling up his leg and going up onto their shoulder, looking towards you. And they kind of scratch it under the chin, looking at you. And you do see it as a very dragon-like creature, about the size of a squirrel, scratching it under the chin. This is mine. We're friends.
Dead. And you're gonna be dead too. Volric! I pull over my shoulder.
So all of you on the deck of the ship at this point, Volric, you've stepped up on to the deck of the ship. Shifty and Aspen, I'm assuming you're following closely behind. So all of you step up right as you see Sethreth there towards the bow of the ship with this door open, calling out to you. Rin and Aize, you are just finishing up casting the Identify on that item. And Rin, you are keeping an eye on the guard. So, Volric, what do you do as Sethreth calls out?
All right, who's with me? So I see that Rin, as you just mentioned, is watching the prisoners. Aize is casting a spell. Where are Aspen and Shifty at the moment? Are they with me?
We're right behind you.
You two, you mind coming with me? And I'm going to run towards the voice.
Okay, so Shifty and Aspen, do you follow?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so the three of you dash across the deck of the ship, ending up behind Sethreth here. And inside you can see these lizard folk pushed up against the wall over Sethreth's shoulder.
Where's Volric's character?
I was just looking for that. There it is.
Hiding.
Yeah.
Volric, look what I found. More of those bloody lizard folk. I was hoping it was the last we've seen. And they got some pet dragon looking thing. And then I get closer to Volric and go, looks like they've got loot in those chests too. Something special.
I'm just as interested as to why they're here.
They said something about their weapons. So I'm assuming they're the ones that are receiving these weapons. Is that true, Lizard One? You said, where are your weapons?
And you can see this creature is starting to quickly dart its eyes around, seeing all the individuals piling up in the door. We did not make the deal with you.
What is this deal?
Will you promise to let us live if we tell you?
I have no problem with it. And I look back at the others. You?
It's like Seth looks at you in shock. Well, if he says so, but if it was my choice, I'd kill you.
It's just been a change of management, that's all. What sort of deal you got going?
We have weapons. Go ahead.
It'd be helpful if you help us. We help you. We all live. You leave.
We have payment that the humans enjoy, and in exchange we get weapons.
Weapons for what? What do you need so many for? A ballista?
We have not created trust between us. Perhaps if we create trust, we tell you.
What can we do for trust?
What can you do to help us trust you? You're hiding out here in the closet.
He's right. Trust is a two-way street.
Sounds like we're kind of the one with the wheel, so to speak. So, don't you think maybe I should offer us a little bit of something to let us know what you're all about?
Why don't Shifty? Why don't you make a persuasion check for me with advantage, since you have all of your companions here?
My sword is also kind of dripping a little bit of blood too. My secret.
Okay.
I think we gotta clean it off. All right. You said persuasion or intimidation? I'm sorry.
Persuasion.
Persuasion. Okay.
Can I give him guidance?
I already have advantage.
How do you give him guidance just as he's having this conversation?
I look to them and I say, you should listen to my friend. We don't want to send you to your maker any earlier than you want to be.
Shifty, you can add a D4 to that.
All right. It's already 21, but I'll add a D4.
Okay.
Let's see here. All right. It's 22.
22. Okay. So Shifty, as you say this, with Volric at your side and Aspen there lending you this assistance, the one in green looks between the other two. You see one has these brown mottled scales, the other has these black iridescent scales. They exchange a look with each other and then look back at you, kind of expectantly waiting for this green scaled one.
Before you answer, I should let you know we have old Snake Eyes alive and, well, not so well, up top. If he doesn't corroborate your story here, we've got a problem.
You see them lower their spears, kind of stand up straight.
How tall are these guys?
8 feet. So
8
they are
feet?
actually
Okay.
they're actually kind of hunched a little. Their heads almost hitting the top of the ceiling here. So yeah, they are towering over you, very close to height to Sethreth, eye level with Sethreth. They kind of adjust, and the green scaled one kind of slithers over towards the chest, getting down on all fours, while the other two push in between you. You see them fiddling with the chest. Hear some clinking sounds. You hear it as it opens. They reach in, pull something out, lock it up, turn back looking towards you, and they hold up what looks to be an ingot of some sort of pure metal. And they look at you, Sethreth, and they toss the ingot towards you. Do you catch it?
Sethreth catches in Aussie the ingot.
Oh, ingot. There you go.
Ah! Stephen Soft Gold, what is it?
It's a good question. I don't know. It as you bite into it, there are little tiny imprints that are made with your teeth, but it hurts. It is incredibly hard. As you look at it, make an intelligence check for me.
Oh god, this is gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Alright. You just click on intelligence on your stats for this.
That's right.
Assuming?
Yeah. 5. You have no idea.
I think it's butter.
You have no idea what kind of metal this is.
I'll just look over at Volric and go, well, it's metal and it's not too hard, and then I'll pass it to him.
I'll grab it. I'll intercept that grab. I'm just like, give me that.
Okay. So Aspen, you grab it.
And I'll try to make the check.
Go for it.
Straight intelligence.
That's right.
21.
Oh my goodness.
Watch
You
it,
immediately, as you grab it and hold it in your hand, look at the quality of the metal, feel the weight of it. You immediately know that this is pure electrum. This is probably worth 100 gold at least. And that seems to be one ingot that was pulled out of the chest. And that chest looks like it could hold a lot more.
I toss it to Volric. Here you go. It's pure electrum. Worth about 100 gold.
Is this a bribe? I look at the lead lizard man.
Payment. A form of trust to begin between us.
But this means you want the weapons, though.
Yes. You get the rest if we get the weapons.
What are you gonna do with those weapons?
Yes, we're supposed to get to that.
Yeah, just something doing about around here. Or is this something dealing back wherever you came from, wherever you crawl out of? Where did you come from anyways?
Are you planning to kill bad people with those weapons or
Yes.
innocent lives?
Bad people. Bad people that took things from us. We
You
need
remember the
them.
last time we dealt with these? They're all batshit crazy, want to kill each other. Their
Yeah,
bag
well-
could be their bloody grandmother.
Well,
You
keep
guys
in mind,
dealt with-
Seth Rath, we were on a cursed island and everybody was a little bit crazier than normal. I've been around lizard men; they're not all manic man-eaters.
Okay, I'll take
I
your word
just-
for it. Does anyone
I
know
just looked to
about-
Shifty.
Actually, I would like
I
to.
just
Go
give
ahead.
Shifty a look.
Okay. So Aspen, you give Shifty a look. Shifty?
Yeah, I would like DM. What would Shifty know being a local? What would he know about or have a knowledge of about Lizardmen? What kind of experience in the recent, I guess, local history would
Make
they
a
have?
Yeah,
Make a history
like
check.
politics. Is there a politics going on with them attacking the humans, or?
A 7. What you know about the lizard folk in the region? They, the lizard folk that there are lizard folk that live in the Mirror of Dead Men. With a 7, all you've really ever heard is that they're dangerous and they stick to themselves. And they have been known to be aggressive at times, and people have disappeared into the Mirror of Dead Men. And there are plenty of stories that have been, they've linked those disappearances to the lizard folk.
But
yeah.
no dealing with them, like for
With a 7, no.
smugglers and stuff like that.
You don't know of any dealings. You only know tales of people disappearing into the swamp and it being attributed to lizard folk. Volric, so you're gonna make a history check as well, knowing about lizard folk.
Based on my past history when I was here before.
Right. So you were here a good 20 years ago. Back then, the lizard folk. There was one large community of lizard folk that lived south of Saltmarsh. And again, similar to what Shifty heard, they tended to stick to themselves. Sometimes there was trade. Sometimes there were run-ins that led to violence, where, you know, the stories you heard where the lizard folk attacked, you know, hunters or adventurers, and then they defended themselves. But that's kind of the perspective you were hearing from the folks in Saltmarsh. I would say with a 20, you know that the lizard folk in that community, they're not actively seeking out to like eat humans or hunt humans down. That is not their culture there. So, but
Probably not good for their longevity as well.
Sure, yeah. I mean, they are living. Sure, they're living in a big, dangerous swamp where it's difficult to get to them. But there are a lot of communities in the area. You know, that there's big towns. You know, there's Waterdeep south of the Mirror of Dead Men. There's Thornhold, Leylon. So, yeah. So that's kind of the two aspects you get. But yes, Volric, you know that there used to be, at least 20 years ago, there was a large lizard folk community, a good, I think it was like 20 to 30 miles south of Saltmarsh, that was out on like a promontory that kind of like almost like a little peninsula that went out into the estuary.
Who's the leader amongst you?
The green scaled one pushes in front of their other two companions, and jerks their head towards you with an abrupt looking towards you.
I'm Volric the Grey. This is Sethreth Bloodtongue, Aspen, and Shifty.
Yeah, I'm Shitty Capone, the real Malone. Now, you tell me, how long have you been having these dealings? Has it just been weapons?
They look uncomfortably at all of the folk here. Many months. Before we continue, we must come to an agreement. Will you give us the weapons? if we deliver you the rest of this payment.
I'll look at Volric. You know, we could just take it anyway.
I'd be inclined to lie to you, but this is exactly what we're here to stop. So,
Well, maybe,
unfortunately, no.
maybe,
we're not gonna
Volk.
keep you here.
We're here to stop something else. We're here to stop. Well, I guess sort of. Is this going to be your last expectation of having weapons? And is there anything else you are wanting to trade? Perhaps it could be a beginning of a fruitful relationship for Saltwater and y'all from where y'all from? Are you from the Mirror? You haven't been. I've never heard you all come out here this far. Must be pretty dire situations in there.
Yes, from the swamp.
You came all the way out here to get weapons when you already have teeth and on all those other things you used?
Yes, we're in great danger.
What?
How can we know we can trust you? And they kind of dart their head and look over your shoulder, seeing the slew of dead bodies and the numerous folk that are tied up, and they jerk their head. How do we know you won't do this to the rest of our kind? Like is so common with the rest of you. Coming in and slaughtering us.
Gecko.
Go ahead, Sethrith. What was that?
You don't have any choice, you bloody gecko.
Then we fight. If you don't give us a choice, at least we die in honor.
Wait. No, we don't have to do that. We don't have to do that. Come on, you big old blockhead. Just stop talking for a minute. You know, it sounds like you're a reasonable folk, right? And perhaps we could come into agreement as long as this could be the last shipment, and maybe you could use our help too. Because what I could like to have is have good neighbors. We're not some Lord's Alliance that comes in and takes over some town or clears out some swamp. That's not what we do. No, we're just here to make sure we're keeping people safe. And the people on this boat, we're not keeping people safe, if you get my drift.
Nah.
Have you been dealing with any trade in the flesh? That's my question for you.
They kind of cock their head looking. Trade in the flesh. Explain.
You know, workers, slaves, whatever people might use somebody for.
No.
But I'm talking humanoids.
No. We have no need for that. We do not need that. We do not agree with that. We just need weapons to defend ourselves. I like this one. And they jerk their head towards Shifty. We'll talk with this one. That one there must leave. And gestures towards you, Sethrith.
He's going to stand right behind me.
Hey.
I don't want you swallowing me if you get angry.
Sethrith looks down at this little yapper, who's just basically, in his mind, giving him a command. Looks up at Volric, shakes his head, goes, there's more than one way to get answers. And I storm out and find the highest ranking bloody tied up pirate. I'm going to interrogate him.
Okay.
With my fist to get answers.
All right, so Sethrith, you step out. Volric and Aspen and Shifty, you're all there at the doorway. Rin and Aize, what are you both doing? You see this argument occurring with these creatures. You can kind of see it all happening at the back, at the front of the ship. What are you both doing in this moment?
Rin is close enough to, I assume, not get all the words, but just hear a bunch of back and forth and raised voices.
Correct.
And all I see is Sethrith just storm out and then just start getting handsy with one of the captains. Right, Rin sees all this. What's going on?
Well,
Sethrith?
Negotiations. Oh, you're with Sethrith. Okay.
All right.
You can get out of here.
So Rin, you address Sethrith.
God knows. Go ask that little yapping dog of a bloody kid in there going, maybe Volric knows, but I'm doing my own way. Gotta find out what's going on. Are you the one in charge here? And just crack.
Okay.
I'm trying to scare the rest to point, you don't tell me who's in charge, I'm gonna beat you all to death.
All right. So you just go up to the first individual you see, crack him across the jaw. Go ahead and make an attack roll for me.
Don't think I've got a bare knuckle one on my list.
It's just an unarmed strike. So if that is not on your list, go ahead and roll a straight strength roll for me.
Okay. Does that do anything? Yes, it did. 22.
So I'm assuming you're trying to be non-lethal here, or do you care if you kill the person that you punch?
He's not trying to kill him, but he's gonna scare the shit out of him. So yeah.
So you deal. What's your strength modifier?
+4.
+4. So you deal a total of 5 damage, non-lethal, to the first one that you stride up to, and you clock the guy that you hit in the stomach with your axe, the one that had the mace and kind of a bit more armor on. Clock him right in the face, and he just immediately and just falls onto the deck, completely unconscious, blood splattering onto the deck. You can still see them breathing, but they are knocked cold. And you see all the other ones tense up, eyes wide, and one of them tied up with their hands behind their back. You see a little finger point out, and they start pointing towards the unconscious captain that Volric had tied up, as you ask who's in charge. So that happens. Rin, what do you do?
So, I thought we were having a conversation. What the hell was that?
Watch and learn, little one. I need one of your berries.
They're already tied up. What are we accomplishing here?
I need one of your berries. Just one, please.
She no longer has that
And then
spell, but she has Cure Light Wounds. Or Cure
Oh,
Light.
okay.
I
need
kind of
you
want
to
to do it
wake
just
up.
for the role playing
Sure.
of it. Well, it'll be fine. She just kind of like sighs and then just one.
Okay.
And then turns it over.
I will storm over to the one that's the captain,
Mhm.
shove it down his throat, give him a light slap. Wake up!
All right. So you do that, slapping him. Aize, are you doing anything, or are you watching all this from the side?
I'm watching for now.
Okay, so you start slapping him awake as you shove the berry in, the juice kind of running down the side of his lips, and you see him start to... and they look towards you. He's all tied up. You can see he's got that... he's got the goatee, and the wig has been knocked off. His hair all disheveled with a big bald spot and the gray bits running throughout it. And he has got a big old black eye starting to form for where Volric just clocked him right in the face. Faster!
I grab him around, lift him right up from my face, my tongue, licks his face with my tongue. You're gonna tell me what I need to know, or I'm feeding you to the sharks. Got it?
Go ahead, roll an intimidation check for me.
Please roll well.
He just...
Sometimes the dice suck.
Yeah. He just chuckles. I will go down with my ship as a good captain does. You'll get nothing from me. For I am Salazar Snake Eyes.
I go, all right. Grab him by the feet because they're tied up.
Okay.
Lift him up over the edge of the ship. Let's see how you swim with no hands and feet, Ripper.
Okay.
Shake him.
Okay.
You gonna tell me or not? I keep trying to get the information out.
All right.
Interject at this point.
Yes, go for it.
Yeah.
I will pick up the pipe and walk over, and just gently poke Sethrith.
Mm-hmm.
Seth,
What?
what are you doing?
Getting information.
That is not how you get information. Seth.
I'll dunk him so his head goes into the water.
Sethrith, please stop.
I ain't stopping, mate. Pull him back up.
Okay.
Yeah, talking. Is he gonna talk?
No, he's coughing up and just going, I will go down with my ship.
Sethrith, pay attention.
Okay.
You got a better way?
You. I'll wait for you to finish talking and then I'll talk. Go ahead. Say what you want to say.
Have you got a better way?
Yes!
Well, do it then. I'm dumping back onto the deck.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, you poor fella. Please forgive my friend. He's a barbarian. What you want, right? Snake Eyes. Here, hold on. Here.
Oh, he's tied up. Oh, yes.
Rin, can you give me a hand here? He's a bit heavy and I am weak.
I got it. Where do you want it?
Oh, no. You stay where you are. You stay away from him. You stay away from him. Can you help me, Rin?
Yeah, Rin comes over to help.
Okay. Are you pulling him up?
Sethrath, what are we, savages? Beating up prisoners? No, come on, no, man. We're better than that. I wink at Sethrath.
All right. Sethrath, you catch the wink.
This is rather interesting, I must say, Captain Salazar, and I hold up his pipe. So you exhale and your thoughts appear.
Your greatest exploits and greatest victories are displayed in front of you.
Really?
Yes.
Where's tobacco?
What was that?
I search him. Does he have any tobacco on him?
Yes. You quickly kind of search through his pockets and you pull out some wet tobacco, but he had some.
Oh, it's wet. Well, that's inconvenient.
What would you like to do?
Actually, I'll use a clean cantrip on the tobacco and dry it out.
Oh, the prestidigitation. All right, so
Then I'll stuff the pipe.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, thing is, we need to know who you're working for.
Well, you're not going to get it from me.
Oh, no. I mean, like, obviously, you're a very strong and very proud man, and there is no way that you're going to give it up. I mean, if Sethrath couldn't scare it out of you, then, you'd sooner die than give it up. I like the pipe.
Yeah.
And I say, but there's an experiment I want to do with this thing. I am sure that when you encountered the person who hired you, you felt it was a great achievement, the amount of money you made, what they offered you, how they paid you. But we're curious about who that person was. And I stick the pipe in his mouth, close his nose.
He starts coughing, and you see it start to smoke spewing out the front.
Try not to think about the person who hired you. And I look at the smoke.
Okay. So you say this to him as he's coughing, and the smoke is... And you watch as each puff of smoke arises out of the pipe and starts to form into shapes. And you see the smoke kind of turning into this almost cerulean blue color as it's forming into shapes. And you say, I want you to try not to think of who hired you. Okay. This is great. Oh, God. I want you to make... God. Can you make a persuasion roll with advantage? And this is going to be very low DC because you have this magic item assisting you here. But I want to see if you can essentially trick him, inception him into thinking about this individual. So please make that roll for me with advantage.
Persuasion?
Persuasion with advantage. Unless you can think of a... I feel like persuasion makes the most sense because you're trying to, like, get him to think about something specific.
Well, there's something else that I'm going to do to him as well.
Okay. What is that?
I'll share that with you, and I will post it in the chat.
Okay.
Because I have this as well.
Wow. Okay. Telepathic. Okay.
So I will be doing this to him.
Yes. Okay. That is great. And so you're doing detect thoughts.
Yes.
Is that right? Okay, great. And are you going to try to push deeper to get those deeper level thoughts?
Yes, I'll be doing that in addition to the pipe. But the pipe, I don't have to do anything other than close his nose.
Got it. Go ahead and make the persuasion roll for me though, to see if the thoughts coming through are strong enough to.
Sure. And I'm at advantage for this?
Advantage, yes.
Okay.
He definitely fails his wisdom save with an 11.
And a 12. Probably no good.
12. No, a 12 is good enough for this. So, as you start to push deeper into this gentleman's thoughts, and say, try not to think about who hired you, you see him coughing, and you watch as the visage of a figure starts to form in this blue smoke.
I call out, archive, record this, please.
Oh, yes, of course, sir. And what you see... let's see, who is this individual? Okay. God, this is one of those things where it's like, I did not have a description written down. Okay. You see a very refined looking gentleman with like a very nicely trimmed beard. They are wearing a vest and a very like beautiful coat with like long tailcoats at the back, forming in the blue smoke. And as you're pushing into the thoughts of Salazar, this same image is kind of appearing in his head as he's trying not to breathe. And
not to think of his name, just forget his name. Don't think about it.
And the name starts to appear in his mind. You hear Salazar's voice echoing in his thoughts, and you hear the name Avitus. Avitus keeps ringing in his head, and you see him kind of shaking his head, squinting. You also see images of what looks to be some sort of warehouse filled with boxes. You get sensations of cold kind of running through his mind, like he's somewhere very cold and brisk. But yeah, so you get the name of Vitus, you get this visual of this figure appearing. So that's what you get when you're asking who hired him. Anything else you want to be asking?
I said, oh my goodness, look at all those boxes. Look, you're giving away too much. Try not to think about where that warehouse is. Don't tell me where it is. Don't give it up.
Incredible.
Forget it.
You get visuals of a skyline appearing. Make a history check for me.
Ooh, that I'm good at.
Go easy. You can do it.
I rolled a 1. That's just but I got a 9.
Oh man. You don't recognize the skyline. Those of you, let's see, has anybody come over to witness this occurring? So there's Sethreth and Rin.
Seth are there.
Got it. So as Aize saying this, the smoke starts to change into the form of a skyline. So yeah, you can make a history check, both of you, Rin and Sethreth. An 11? Okay. Yeah, for Sethreth, I don't think you recognize the skyline because you are not really from this area. Rin, unfortunately, so yeah, neither of you recognize the skyline. I will give you distinctive features though. You see.
They're like the 2 characters that wouldn't know this area that well.
Yeah.
I know, this is great. This is brilliant. And we're about to cut back over to the rest of you with the lizard folk. So, as what you see the smoke depicting, and you, Aize, as well, you start to see a depiction of this. You see you see what looks to be a very prominent set of towers. There's one central tower with 2 other towers off to the side, and it looks to be on the coast. These towers are resting atop a rocky outcropping, and stretching down this cliff face, you can see multiple other buildings and businesses kind of cascading down. at the top of the rocky outcropping, there's a long bridge that heads over and connects to what appears to be a large keep. This keep as well has multiple towers rising off of it. And as the smoke is forming this, you see in the far, far distance what looks to be a single mountain starting to form, as if it's in the far distance. A very harsh peak of a mountain, isolated and alone. So that's the skyline that you both see.
It's probably very fitting that Sethred failed that, because he would never have been there before.
You would, I mean, yeah. I have no, based on your character, I have no way, reason for you to know that.
That's right.
So as this is displaying out in front of you in blue smoke, we're going to cut back over to Shifty, Aspen, and Volric as Sethreth goes storming off. The lizard folk seem to relax, their shoulders dropping, and they look down towards you, Shifty. Good. We'll speak with you. That one was not kind. You're muted, Shifty.
He woke up on the wrong side of bed this morning. You know what I mean. It happens sometimes, you know. It's a little seasick out here. It's not his gig. But for me, I was born around these places. Now let's talk. Perhaps we can become good friends as well.
All right. What would you like to talk about? We want weapons. You know what we want. How can we come to an arrangement so that we receive these weapons?
Well, you see, just getting some money one time isn't the best thing for me. Because for one, I got to make sure that those weapons don't come back to hurt me, and two, I would rather establish some kind of a relationship. But I'm not going to your smear. I'm not going to that swamp. No, I've heard what happened. People go there; they don't come back out.
Very well. And you see the other two kind of tense and shoot glances at this one. They start to bark towards the other in what languages do the three of you know?
Me? Oh shoot!
All three of you, yeah. I'll make it easy. Do any of you know Draconic?
No.
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 Okay. So you do not understand what they're saying to each other. But the other two, the one with the brown scales, kind of jerks towards them and starts to utter some phrases. And the one with the black scales seems to place a scaly hand on the other one, trying to calm them down and start to bark language towards them. They're kind of having a discussion with the three of them. And then
as they're talking,
go ahead.
As they're talking, can I turn towards Aspen?
Yeah.
I say, your friend here knows that he's writing a promissory note that he can't fulfill, right? And I'm saying this, in hushed tones as well, knowing that they're also talking amongst each other.
Yeah.
I say, we were here to do two things. One is to stop the shipment to find out why it's happening. Selling these weapons, that's a no-no.
Well, I can't speak for Shifty. He does what he wants.
Well, I guess we'll get ready for a fight, and I'll just sit back and watch.
Okay.
Before you do that, I look to you, and then I turn back to Sephrith. You're the leader of this group, yes?
So at this point, Sethreth, you've finished dunking, done all that intimidation, and have kind of turned away as as Aize's doing his tricks on this individual.
I turn over, look over my shoulder at her.
Nah,
me,
like
the leader? Hell no. Volric's the brains. And you're smart, you and your mate, will listen to him. He's kept us alive in some serious hard shit. Way more than this crap. Be smart, listen to him.
How about you listen to me? What you just did isn't gonna work around here, okay? You can't
tell
just...
Volric. He's the boss.
Okay. You need to keep your people under control. That's not gonna work around here in Saltmarsh. Just dragging people and throwing them over the edge or intimidating them. You know, some people really like to have conversations, and it seems like your group isn't about that.
Well, I didn't see what was going on up there until just now. But yeah, that wasn't going to be my choice of actions either, to be honest. I figured that old sea dog would love the opportunity to escape. I was going to give him that opportunity if he opened up, and the rest of us were agreeing to it. Anyway, we have a lot of things going on. This interrogation's more chaotic than the fight we just had, to be honest. I think there's 4 of us that are more or less on the same page. I'm not too sure about the others, being you and Shifty. I have no problem with it, to be honest. But like I said, if the little man here keeps talking, eventually we're gonna end up in a fight.
Do I hear all this stuff happening, or are they in a different room?
I'm saying it out loud.
Oh, okay, so that you're
towards the end.
through.
Yeah, so towards the end, I'm basically being straightforward.
Yeah.
And I turn towards the lizard man and I say, I know you like the little one here. Me too, in a way. But he doesn't speak for all of us. And you're looking for trust. I told you, we're not going to sell you the weapons. If I wanted to lie to you, I would have. Maybe to get more information, then kill you, then take all those ingots. But instead, you're dealing with this man here. He's going to promise you something we're not going to give.
Whoa, Ulrich. That did you just say that weapons are a no-no? How the hell did you get a weapon? You think it just magically appeared? How the hell did anybody get a weapon? There's trade. This is called trade. But we came here not to find out about weapons. We came here more to find out who was trying to smuggle people. And also what they're behind. If they're going to start, well, if piracy's going to start again. But these folks here sound like they're more local. They have a situation, so we need to figure out what kind of trust we can build. Because if we could, they could be perhaps good allies.
Yes, Umberlee's tyrants were something we were looking at down the road, and slavery is also possibly connected to this. But we were hired for 1,200 gold pieces between the 6 of us to neutralize this ship, find out what's going on.
We've done that.
Right, and part of that is to secure these weapons. What part of the mission don't you understand?
I look over at Aspen. I'm like,
I just shake my head.
They really don't get it.
It's not worth it.
He's right though. They're not our weapons to sell. Unless you've got a stash of your own weapons you're willing to sell to them, I don't care. But we can't sell what's not ours, can we, Ulrich?
These weapons are property of the Lords of Light. If you forgot, Shifty, the real Malone.
The Lords? Yeah, no. They think they own everything. I know you're kind of new around here, but those Lords Alliance people actually come in and they're destroying our land. And they're going to take us and make us just little servants and take all the money away from us. So we're going to be some really backwater town where right now, at least we have some respect. So, pardon me, but you just came in. Did you get hired by the Lords Alliance? I thought you guys were just walking in here and did a job, and so you got their trust. That's great, but you don't know what's happening around here locally. So we're going to try to find a local solution. Because as far as they know, these weapons could be gone, lost. There were no weapons. They were already traded. But let's find out exactly what's going to happen and what the thing behind these weapons are. Perhaps there's a bigger threat that we don't know about. Because
and I would like
these
to know
guys are
that threat
located
as
next to
well.
us.
I would like to know that threat as well. But we all came here for a very specific mission.
Yeah, to get a ship and stop the ship and stop this trade. So we've already done that.
And get the weapons because they are not the property of anyone on this ship, including us. Now, I know you were down there murdering all those poor innocent alcoholic beverages, so I'm not really sure why you're here.
Do you think
we're not on the
I'm a
same
beverage?
page,
I hold my
we should get
rapier,
on the
which
same
is dripping
page
blood.
before these lizard men here get a headache and decide to fight us just to stop the conversation.
I hold up my blade. I was like, does this look like alcoholic beverages to you?
You know what I'm
You
talking
were
about.
working below. There were people coming from there. We couldn't get all of them.
I'll put my hand on Shifty's shoulder, and I'm just like, Shifty, let them do what they came here to do. We have other opportunities.
Question is, what did you two come to here for?
We were hired by the Lords and Lions to help you guys.
Yeah, but you seem to
Do
be
you?
focused
I'm
on
sorry.
your
Are
own
you?
agenda.
I understand you're not very smart, but
Wow.
you are strong.
Wow.
You.
You're
I tried
lucky
to
you're
speak to
pretty,
you.
I tell you, or I'd knock you right off your bloody perch.
I would
right
love to see you try.
now. I look
I
at
hear
Ulrich.
this.
I'm waiting for
Yeah,
permission.
we
to
all. I
nod.
think we're just having a group conversation now. Just
Yes,
kind
you've
of-
all reconvened at this point. Correct.
I do say,
He
Captain
said-
Salazar, if you would pardon me for a moment, I'm gonna ease that pipe out of your mouth now. Take my fingers off his nose. Have a good breath. There you go. You're so strong-willed. That's very good. That I admire your fortitude. You didn't tell us a darn thing. Well done.
That was a nasty trick.
And
he
then I
just-
get up.
Mhm.
I say, hey, everyone, this is a really interesting pipe. and then I wipe the stem, and then I take a deep drag,
Okay.
and I blow a puff of smoke out, and I imagine the deck covered with our corpses slashed to pieces, with
Okay.
Bulric with his fingers around Shifty's neck,
Mhm.
and Shifty's rapier shoved through his eye socket.
Oh jeez. And wait, is
And the only one standing, the only people who are not dead are me and Ren.
got it.
Bystanders.
Oh, sorry. Did I speak that out loud? My goodness.
Oh, was that supposed to scare
It's
us?
visuals.
Please.
I'm so sorry. No, ignore it.
I
I push away the blue smoke.
I turned to Volric. We're just trying to help you.
Well, let me be
Like
clear
I said,
here.
you're new around here. We're just trying to help you fit in.
Well, I'm new, but I'm not new. I was here a long time ago. I
Well,
know
things have
people here.
changed.
So what's the issue with these? I'm sorry, I interrupted you, Volric. Please go
Yeah.
ahead.
So, Shifty, Aspen, let me be really clear here. I'm not here to be antagonistic. In fact, I don't mind a little bit of shenanigans now and then. But we're on a very specific mission, and you're doing some things or promising some things that are counter to that mission. Perhaps we should have had a conversation ahead of time. So, in that case, perhaps it's all of our fault. But we're
So-
here now, and we're not giving away those weapons. And we still have these lizard folk here that we need to converse with.
We're
So
trying to
take them off the
convert.
table because I want to establish trust with these folk here. And I'm starting by telling them, and I turn to them, you're not getting those weapons, but you can leave the ship if you tell us why you want them and what is this threat. And I'm turning towards the lizardmen.
Okay. You turn towards them. They finish having their discussion. Shifty, did you want to do something?
Can I?
Put my hands up, exasperated, like,
Okay.
how can I work? Can't work with this. Can't work with this.
Okay. And then Aspen.
I wanted to message one of the lizard folk, the one closest to the door.
Okay. What do you say?
If you want to live, just leave the ship.
Okay.
There's no talking to these people.
Which one were you targeting specifically? There's
The
like
one who's been making all the decisions
Okay.
so far.
The green scaled one. Okay. When you quickly cast that and look towards them, you see them kind of tense up and sort of look around, not quite understanding what happened, and then they kind of lock eyes with you. And then they look towards Volric as Volric finishes saying what he said. The green scaled one looks at you, Volric. Fine, no weapons. Let us leave the ship alive. And we'll tell you why we needed them.
I turn back to my part of the crew, and I go, like, that's take their confirmation they're cool with it.
My dear Volric, you must forgive me. We were busy out here while you were speaking. Are those lizard men? Is that a little dragon? And this is my first time seeing them now that I'm at the door of the cabin. And they're not dead, so I assume that they're not hostile per se.
You see the 3 lizard folk, and the one has what looks to be some sort of little tiny dragon on its shoulder that's just looking around skittishly.
I want to touch it. My goodness. Could you fill us in? Fill me in anyway?
Yeah, I can fill you in. I'll fill you in. So this is what's happened. This is what's going down. No, this is what's going down. They're trying to trade, but of course they can't trade in person because everybody here is afraid of them. I would be afraid of them. So they can't trade publicly, in the open. They can't come in the market. They'd be killed on the site. And you all know that. So what they do, they have to go through some back channels. They said they have no dealings with any flesh, no slave trade, none of that shenanigans. They are just trying to get something to protect themselves because somebody is threatening their territory. They're located just south of us here in the mirror.
I see. So they're buying weapons from these smugglers, and that's the only reason they're here.
That's right. But and then I look up here.
Have they stated who they're... I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Finish what you're saying, Shifty.
And he just looks up at Vork and he goes, but this one really just wants to... He's so close-minded. He only see one thing. He has his hands up. He has his visors up blocking his view.
But our orders were to stop the shipment. You know that, right?
And we did that.
We did stop.
So you're saying that neutralizing the smugglers is fulfilling our orders, and we should let the lizard men have the weapons.
Well,
I'm just seeking clarity here. That's all. I was sitting over here doing.
They're using them for.
Look, it's not going to work if we all talk at once, okay? So I'll just stop, and you go ahead. Okay, then I'm gonna go. All right. Pardon me for being reasonable. Have the lizard men. I don't like calling you that. I point at the green guy and I say, "What is your name?"
They look at you, and they go, Ashwak.
Ashwak. Archive, please record that.
Right away. And you start to see little ink start to across the page, inscribing the name and the description.
Ashwak, I am Aizemali. Be upon you, and may your eggs be dry. Blessings of the Earth Mother fall upon you and your clan.
They kind of straighten, and you see the crest sort of rise up. Then they bow their head and close their eyes. And look back up.
Press my hands together and I bow to them.
Yeah, they bow back.
With our captain here, and I touch Velric on the shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
He's an honest and forthcoming man, and he only wishes to know, as you have volunteered to give forth the information at least, who is the enemy that threatens your people? That you would need weapons for. Weapons bought from soft skins such as us. So, as you know, we are unworthy. We are not blessed with the scales.
You speak true. It is creatures from the deep. They came to our home. They pushed us out. They devoured our flesh, and they took everything from us. We were forced into the muck, back into the smear of dead men, as this one called it, and gestures towards Shifty.
Can you describe the creatures of the deep that are harassing your noble people?
So many teeth,
Oh, I know what they are, but
fins, large beasts.
can I make a nature roll to guess at this?
Yes, you can. I'm going to take my hood off for a moment as I'm starting to overheat a little in this.
22. Is it the saw again?
It is. You recognize that these lizard folk are describing the Sahuagin creatures. Yes.
My friend Volric, the creatures he describes are enemies of everyone. They are horrific monsters. The sea devils, the Sahagin.
Well, of course, they can't spend decades at sea not knowing what those evil beasties are. Much, much worse than lizard folk.
I am inclined, if it fulfills the letter of the agreement, I'm inclined to make a suggestion. One that would be, or may I make a suggestion?
Of course.
Are the weapons on board the ship? I seem to recall.
You have no idea. You haven't seen any weapons. There were weapons when you raided the smugglers' hideout about a 10-day ago. There was a cache of weapons that you found there, but you haven't seen any weapons aboard the ship itself.
Don't forget, when we got on the ship, the first thing the pirates were saying was, "Let's get these weapons on the ship."
All right.
So we were meant to be delivering them, I think.
Then the point is moot about selling them weapons, Shifty. We don't have them.
Yeah, all I found below, or all me and Aspen found below, we were going to see if we could secure the cargo hold while y'all were fighting up there, because we don't want some nasty surprise. But we only found lots of barrels full of liquid, wines and alcohols, and some nasty little buggers down there.
I go back and address the lizard man. Oh, shit. Should have written it down.
Ashwak. Yeah, Ashwak.
We do not have the weapons. The shipment that you are expecting will not come. This I swear to you, upon the Earth Mother.
Then you let us leave. We told you who threatens us.
Ashwak, I have another question for you. If we were to come to your home or wherever it is that you are now that you've been driven out, if we offered our services, it seems you have quite a few of those ingots. Perhaps we could negotiate. I have nothing. That is no problem cutting these Sahagin down. I'd have to talk to my friends here.
Yeah, I want to go kill them. And you can pay us that money instead of giving it to the weapons. We'll be your weapons.
I think that, you can give a man fish or give a lizard fish, or you can give a lizard a bunch of sharp implements so they can cut up their own fish. Then they don't have to worry about the fish again. But I'm fine either way. I'm just saying.
Volric.
We could take this back to the town and say, hey, those weapons that we found in the house, you mind if we have them back? Because the the lizard men really need them.
Volric, make a persuasion check for me.
Roll high. Watermelon sugar. High.
It's going to be moderately challenging for this, considering all the threats that have been made, the massive amounts of dead bodies. Yeah.
Don't forget Volric's been
16.
the most honest.
It's true.
Volric's been the most honest one the whole time to him.
It's true. They're clearly not going to try to attack you at this point, but it's whether they are willing to work with you. They look like they want to get off of this ship at this point.
So I have a 16.
16. Okay. Ashwak looks between the other two. They exchange some words briefly. Aize and Rin, since you're in on the conversation now, do either of you speak Draconic?
Nope. I don't think so.
Okay.
But I'm probably not.
Understood. All right. They exchange some words, and Ashwak looks back. We have.
It looks like it's on the list. Sorry, I'm not sure if this is wrong, but it's on my list.
I think you. So when I was helping you make your character, I believe, because that was going to be one of your kind of favorite foe for your people. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that makes sense. You could have Draconic actually.
Okay.
All right. Well, I only got close towards this last bit.
That's fine. So you hear them exchange words with each other. You hear Ashwak turn to the one with the iridescent black scales that seem to be a little calmer amongst the three. Excuse me, a little burp there. Turn to the one with the iridescent black scales and in Draconic say, I think we should take them to Queen Othokant. Othokant will be able to determine if they are trustworthy. And the black-scaled one kind of cocks their head, looking up. How can we know? They are just the soft-flesh kind that strike us down and slaughter us whenever we enter into their territory. And the brown-skinned one is kind of looking skittish and back towards the rest. Yes, I think we should flee right away. I don't trust any of them. Look at the bloodshed they've created. And Ashwak holds their hands out towards the other two. I have made a decision. We'll take them to Queen Othokant, and Othokant will determine whether they are worthy. And Ashwak turns and looks towards you all and addresses you in common. We will take you to our home. You will speak with our leader. She will decide if you are worthy. Is this agreeable?
Rin.
Can we?
Can
go ahead, Rin.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, interrupt. Yeah. So now that Shifty's here, she's not the shortest, but she's 5 feet, so she just kind of like pulls arms away so she can get to the front.
Yeah.
And in Draconic, she says, apologies, I'm Rin. Hi.
They kind of raise their necks and look towards you, a little surprised.
I'm wondering why Rin is hissing so much.
It sounds like polite hissing, which is odd. And she says, I understand your hesitations with us. I would too. I don't care for bloodshed when it's unnecessary. We are happy to, I cannot speak for all of us, but from the friends I come with, I'm sure we would want to meet your leader. We've worked with your kind before, and I believe we can talk as equals.
Kind of shift and look amongst each other, a bit wary with you stepping forward and speaking in their language. I want you to, this will be the kind of final persuasion check here. Go ahead and make a persuasion check with advantage here as you're speaking their language.
Zethryth looks down at her. How many tongues can you speak?
I'd like to...
An 11, okay.
And I'd like to also, it's 5 to 11.
Oh, I didn't roll it.
No, you're good.
I'm going to kind of, with a very mild flourish, I say, you surprise us all, Rin. Perhaps you can surprise our friends with an offer they can't refuse. And I give her bardic inspiration.
Got it. Okay, go ahead.
Nice.
You can, if you wish to, you can add, what is it? 1d6.
1d6.
Go, Rin. Well done, Rory.
So what can I add to it?
Roll.
1d6.
Yeah, roll a d6. Awesome.
Cool.
Okay.
Right.
They relax visibly. Ashwak looks at you and addresses you. Yes, we can work together. We are all agreeable upon this, and Ashwak kind of looks amongst the others. You kind of take a reluctant, relaxed stance, give a brief nod. Remind me again, Rin, what exactly you said. Did you just say you wish to work together?
Just affirming that she would be happy to meet their leader.
Excellent. Okay.
Or that's what she believes her friends that she came with, aka everyone except Aspen and Shifty.
Okay.
She knows. Yeah.
Understood. So Ashawak addresses you in Draconic first, then turns to the rest of you in Common. It sounds we've come to some kind of agreement. We take you to our leader. She determines if you are worthy, and then we can work together. Does this work for everyone here?
This is
I
this
just
is
have
definitely
one
the part. Yeah, this is definitely the part where I'm going to be looking at Aize and Aspen and Shifty and everybody to get their kind of confirmation that they do want to go along with this for the next part.
Got
So
it.
I just turn to them and look for them to either say, whoa, hey, or whatever. Which Aize was about to speak, so go ahead, sir.
Just out of curiosity, it's on the place where you live. You got picked up there in the ship, right?
They kind of exchange looks, look up at you. We met at a secret location. They do not know where we live.
Oh no, that's fine. I'm just wondering how we're gonna get to your place because I'm not a sailor, and this is a ship.
They
Does
kind of...
anyone actually? I mean, Volric, do we actually have the means to reach their place? I know you're a sailor, Volric, but
You saw me get you here? Yeah, I could command this ship. I've been trying to get one of these for a while now.
all right, so that's two. We'd probably have to Shanghai some of the prisoners.
I don't think it's too hard. I look over at Sethreth and Vorik. I'm sure these two could definitely keep them in line as first mates.
All right. And Sethreth?
All right,
Go ahead.
Then I'm sorry. Then in response to your query, Volric, yes, I'm, or at least in response to the lizard man, Arskar's offer, I would very much like to visit their community and help them against the Salgan. And I'd also like to touch your dragon.
Okay, Sethreth, go ahead.
I look to Vorik. Boss, don't we have to probably get this mission completed before we can go and do that one?
I was going to mention that.
They got payment waiting for us, and it'd be really handy. I'm pretty skinned.
I was going to mention that, yes.
I have an idea for that. You know, we did come in my own schooner there, so we could bring this ship back, but I could make sure that they could, as long as I have a good replacement, we could try to make sure that they stay off of the, out to water a little bit longer in concealment so that, they're not attacked. And I look over at the Ashwak and I go, what say you, Ashwak? I want to develop some trust, but I also don't want, we can't promise what other, man folk might do when they see you because there's a rough history. But for me, I always look for a good opportunity, as you know. So perhaps we could use the boat I came on here with. We have a smaller one, but it's a good boat just to keep you off the shore. So, or we could put you somewhere near onshore into the marshes there by salt water just to keep you out of sight until we finish up the thing we came here to do, which is secure this boat and stop this, figure out who's making the trade and why they're making trade and folk.
We would prefer to be dropped within the swamp and wait for you to meet up with us.
I can do that. I look back. I can do that, man. It's not a problem. I've been, well, not the swamp. Nothing's gonna be eating me there, right? Nothing's gonna be damaging the ship there, right?
No, we'll protect you, little child.
See? Child!
If you weren't so tall, with that many teeth.
Yeah.
Are you not a small spawn of these other ones?
Come on, piss, I'm not. What the hell are you thinking? No, I'm just a little shorter. I've been around these parts for a long time. They're just new here. You tell them, Aspen. Don't let them talk to me like that. What are you talking about? No, I'm shitting Capone the Real Malone.
That means nothing
I
to
make
us.
trades.
You see, Ashwak, in our sphere, our communities, as we intermingle, he's known as a halfling, and there's kind of a nature's balance. We have the smaller you are, the louder you get, and the more you tend to compensate for your shortcomings. I couldn't help myself. Sorry, Shifty.
The lizard folk kind of looks at you. So you must exert more might and force the smaller you are.
Yeah.
Or intelligence.
Understood. So, you will allow us to live. Drop us off within the swamp, and we wait for you to return to take us to our leader. We'll take you to where these folk, and they gesture towards the dead bodies and those tied up. We'll take you to where they picked us up. Is this agreeable?
It is to
I can
me.
get you there, yeah.
Hey, one thing, boss. Let's confirm how much payment is actually there.
Oh, stop.
Well, you do not get the payment, as we do not get the weapons.
Let's not
No, but if we go do the job and beat up your enemy, I want to know what the payment amount is.
That is for our leader to decide.
That would be my expectation, Seth. Their leader is going to negotiate. We obviously want to make it worth our while.
We've been picked up the chain, Sethreth, that's all. But
you can
I'm
keep...
amenable to...
Go ahead.
I am amenable to helping Ashkar and his people.
Ashwak.
Ashwak. You know, I'm going to... Archive, remind me.
Oh, yes, of course. It's right there. I've already done it. Apologies.
All right, thank you. I'm going... Oh, look, and it's written here, too. Yes, I'm very sorry, Ashwak.
Excellent. Okay, so you have this arrangement made. They seem to relax a bit. Ashwak gestures towards the one ingot that you have, and Ashwak says, you can keep that as a sign of trust. And then they go back into their room and kind of start to collect their things, and they're still on edge. And they seem to be trying to kind of keep this room to themselves.
Do I still have the ingot?
Yes. They let you keep that.
By the way, it's awesome. We're all Australian now.
Yeah.
With our ingots.
So
I'm going to walk up to the door.
Yes.
And I'm going to knock on it if they closed it.
If you allow them to, they will close the door.
Okay. I'll say then. As they're closing it, I'll say, and I'll extend my hand through the kind of crack as they're closing it with the ingot, and I say, I want us to be on the same page. Trust. And I give it back to them.
And they grab it, and the green-scaled Ashwak bows. Trust. And then
I stab him in the face.
Okay. Careful. Words mean thing in Dungeons and Dragons. And Ashwak closes the door, and they retreat into their room and kind of do their own thing. With that, you have all these other prisoners tied up. You have all the dead bodies. You do have the rest of the ship, which, Sethreth, we'll say that you managed to, we'll say you managed to go into the captain's quarters, and there was the adjacent quarters, and then you headed to the lizard folk chamber. Within those two quarters, I don't know how much you would have grabbed, but within the captain's quarters, you would have seen there was like a writing desk at the back, at the stern of the ship, a little chest off to the side, a bed, and within there were many papers on top of the desk, the writing desk. That was kind of the main thing you would have found in there.
He would have left all that for Volric and for him to pick who would be the best person to investigate.
Okay.
To try and get some information that may be written form. periodically he would have been using his magic sense awareness.
Got it.
So anything like that, he would definitely have picked up a sack and chucked in and brought to Volric later on. And just reported what he saw, where he saw.
Understood. You go to open up the drawers within the desk. They are all they're all locked. So you would have to either lock pick or break them open. Magic sense doesn't. I'll say that you pick up some faint magic coming through one of the locked drawers in the desk.
Yep.
And then in the other chamber adjacent, which appears to be where that wizard or the spellcaster was, in there you see as well a small writing desk. There is another chest which is locked.
But that's not giving off any magic.
Magic sense, I believe, because it can be blocked by barriers. Is that right? By like a certain amount of
awareness.
Certain amount of wood or stone.
To the end of your next turn, you know the location of any spell or magic item within 60 feet of you.
Okay.
That isn't behind total cover.
Total cover. Okay, so you don't. I guess you wouldn't have actually detected the magic from the drawer, but we'll say that maybe there's like a crack in the drawer, just a big enough crack that you kind of detected that. In this room, you don't pick up any magic detection. And then you would have gone over to the lizard folk chamber and seen.
And when you sense a spell, you learn which school of magic.
The magic coming out of the locked desk would have been necromantic.
Okay. Yeah. And I will take that, and when no one's around, quietly tell Volric all those things.
Okay. So you're keeping this to you and Volric. So Volric,
after what's just transpired between almost the mutiny on board, he's a little bit concerned of what are their motives, what are their real alternative motives.
Got it.
And I want to be careful.
Got it. So Volric, you and Sethreth have this information. I want to open it up to Aize, Rin, Aspen, and Shifty for a moment. As you all gather on the deck of the ship, you're all standing there on the deck of the ship after this exchange. So I guess the whole group, right? Because I want to know, what do you all intend to do next? And then we're going to take a quick break. So I'll let you all talk amongst yourselves to kind of figure out.
Well, I know you didn't ask me, but as a group, sorry, Aspen, you're next. Sorry. Was Volric is going to suggest that we all meet and talk before we
Understood.
Do the next thing.
Yeah. So you'll.
That's the only thing he's going to basically propose. That's all huddled together now.
Yeah. So you'll do that. Okay. And Aspen, what do you want to say?
I was gonna go relax in the captain's quarters. Just sit at his desk and tip my hat and just like fall asleep. Just kick my feet up on his desk and just chill there.
Okay. Let's. If it's all right, let's say that after the huddle, you head in there and do that. Because I do want you all to have a moment to talk with each other and kind of determine what you're going to do. So, let's the whole group here. What do you intend to do next as Volric gets everybody together?
So, the way I see it, determine how many people it takes to operate the ship. Get the number of people needed to operate the ship. Take it back to the Saltmarsh. Report in, take it to the swamp. Drop off Ashwak and his company. Then go to Saltmarsh. Drop off the ship, report in to who hired us. Let them know what happened. Ask them if we can keep the ship or what we need to do to keep the ship. Deliver our prisoners, so on and so forth. Then put in a good word for any of them that assist in operating the ship. Then when that's done, go back to the swamp, pick up Ashwak, and then head out and go help them out with their Sahuagin problem. And if possible, and if time permits, Rin and I, and actually Sethreth, have a good idea of where the warehouse is that they were using with the cache of weapons. Or actually, I shouldn't say that. we'd need to see the skyline. I suspect it might be Saltmarsh. And perhaps we might be able to find the warehouse. And
You
if
got a
we do,
picture of
then
that?
I'm done. Go ahead.
You got a picture of that? The coastline? If you got something, I'd probably be able to figure out where that is.
Archive recorded it.
Oh, yes.
And as Aize holds up, you see a sketch of what the skyline was shown with those 3 towers on a rocky crag and then a bridge extending out to a larger keep. And then in the far distance, you can see a singular mountain. Shifty, go ahead, make a history check with advantage. And Volric, you as well, actually. I would like both of you to make this check.
Can I try as well?
I don't want to have dogpiling,
No,
so let's just do the 2. And we'll
Okay.
say that maybe, yeah. So Shifty got an 18. Go ahead, Volric. If that's okay, Aspen. I just like...
No, that's fine.
Cool.
Maybe she just knows what I know.
Exactly, yeah. We'll say that this is kind of like you and Shifty together would know this information for sure.
Okay.
We're 18 together.
18, okay. Oh, only
Oh,
a
no.
6, Volric. Okay.
I missed that day in class.
Did you make that at advantage?
20 years behind.
Oh, at advantage.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then I will roll a second time. There we go.
Yes.
Huh.
And
Oh my god.
this is remarkable, Volric. Somehow you don't know what the skyline is, and if it's all right, I'm gonna make this canon. You've never been to this city before, remarkably. But Shifty and Aspen, you definitely recognize this because this is the biggest city to the north of you. This is Neverwinter. This is the skyline of Neverwinter. And yeah, Volric, I don't know. Somehow you managed to miss going to Neverwinter. I don't know how.
What's a Neverwinter?
I look to Volric as he says, I've never been here before. And I'm just like, I thought you've done this before, Volric.
I used to drink more before.
Oh,
Explains
well,
a
that's
lot.
good to know. I thought it was Saltmarsh, but if this is Neverwinter,
Yeah, the city of hands, really. It's just the city of craft, where they do all the crafts in the Sword Coast here. It's where there was a lot of manufacturing, but now it's taken over by some lord in Waterdeep. What's his name? Well, I think it goes by Neverwinter or something like that. But yeah, no, that's a good place for doing trade, but it's kind of an up and coming place. It was destroyed before my time by some volcano. But
yes, the hot springs. But they've rebuilt it. It was damaged, but it is rebuilt. But certainly Waterdeep is the primary.
Go ahead,
Is it
Aize.
a big city?
Waterdeep is like I wouldn't call it the capital, but certainly the jewel of the Sword Coast.
And this is Neverwinter, not Waterdeep, though, just to be clear.
Yes, I know.
Oh, sorry. Yes, I was confused, Aize. I thought you were referring to this as Waterdeep.
I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry.
I don't mean to correct you. I just, make sure.
No, it's all right. It's good that you correct me. Keeps me.
So is this a pretty big city, is it?
Yes, but it's nowhere around where we're going. So
Big as
don't have to search-
Saltmarsh or bigger?
we don't have to search Saltmarsh to find the warehouse.
Saltmarsh is pretty small. It's
Oh.
Neverwinter's big.
Saltmarsh is the biggest city I've ever seen.
It'd take like 2 days or something like that by sailing, and maybe 3 days or 4 days by land or something like that to get there. But I think we better just sail in there. I don't trust those roads going north.
Are we in
Yeah, that's the.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was gonna say that's where all those ambushes be happening, right?
That's
Going
right.
north?
All right.
Anyhow,
After you, Aize.
So what are we doing?
Aize, let's go ahead. Get your thought out. You're good.
all right. I didn't want to interrupt Aspen,
Mhm.
and then I didn't want to interrupt. That's right.
It's the
Well, let's do it
charm.
this way.
It's the charm
Aspen,
of
you go
Zoom.
first. Yeah, now I'm interrupting you. Oh man, Aspen, you go first.
No, I'm finished. Go ahead.
How does my little plan sound to everyone?
Beautiful. Except I think one little thing, maybe. I look over at Aspen. We probably should have mentioned these guys in there, and we probably should mention to be able to acquire this ship that there is a threat to Saltmarsh and their plans over in Leilon of Sahuagin, because if the Sahuagin are actually that kind of threat, then we are well.
I'm not so sure the Lord's Alliance gives a damn what happens to the lizard men. I am not disagreeing with you. Well, no, I am disagreeing.
No, they're going to come.
I don't think we should mention it at all. I think that we should keep the information about the lizard men to ourselves. There is real prejudice against them.
The Sahuagin.
Oh, we should warn them that the Sahuagin.
Let them know about that, because that is going to be a threat. Those things stop at nothing. They spread like vermin.
What do they look like? I've never heard of them.
Sharks.
Fish man
with arms and legs.
Oh.
They're not totally unlike these folk here, but bigger heads, lots of teeth, and they're very, very mean.
I've never seen them.
Ugh, I don't like them.
I don't even know what a shark is.
You know what a shark is. You do not know what a shark is.
Probably hasn't seen it.
Oh, well then.
Oh, that's not
dear
surprising.
friend.
Where'd you get it from, a mountain?
Next time we see a shark, I will point it out to you. And maybe you could go befriend it.
Okay.
I'm kidding. I joke.
Do they taste good?
Friends with weirder.
Can we eat them?
Yeah, you can't eat them, actually. Yeah, they do taste like rubbery, whatever, but they're man-eaters. I mean...
Volric, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, a couple things. I thought we're heading into a break.
We are about to go into a break, yes.
Okay, so I'll ask when you get back. But the question I'll have for you is, how many people would we need to pilot this ship at a minimum?
Yes, I was going to look that up. Give me 1 sec. I have it here. You need to pilot this ship. Where's the stat block? Here it is. To pilot this ship, you will need 5 people. Oh no, I'm sorry, 3. You only need 3. You need 3 people to pilot to like limp it along. Like it'll be very slow. It will not be operating at its optimal level. You basically need 2. You need 1 person on the helm to steer it and all that, and then you need 2 people to be running around and actually managing the sails. You can maybe get by with 2 people, but you know yeah.
Okay, so 6 of us, with 2 of us being very familiar, and then I would say I'm sure Bryn does not have the skill, but she has been on the ship with me several times.
Okay.
Do I think that with a little bit of direction, you'd be okay?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I would give that to Rin. You could do basic things aboard the ship. The rest of you would probably just need like a full day to get familiar with like basic tasks, and then you could probably help operate. And we'll go into this off stream. We'll go into the mechanics of using the ship. We're not going to do it on stream because it'll be boring as all hell. But yes. So yeah, that's your question, Volric. Anything else?
No, I guess maybe you want to take a break now.
Yeah, let's do a quick break here. So we're all gonna do a little break. Anybody who needs to do a bathroom break. In the meantime, if folks have anything they want to talk about and make any announcements, we can do that. And I'll just remind everybody who's tuning in this evening that we're dressed to quest. This is our second adventure, and we're adventuring in Saltmarsh as we continue to uncover what is going on. Yeah, I'll open up to the rest of you. Any of you have anything you want to talk about this evening?
I'd just like to address and let everybody know that Shifty is not actually that shifty. He's actually a good person. Don't listen to Volric.
Clearing the rumors once and for all.
Yeah.
It doesn't help having the name Shifty.
Yes. I guess I will quickly take this opportunity, if it's okay, Eric.
Yeah,
I just want to mention I run another stream on Monday nights called Story Reckless. Our group is called Story Reckless, and we stream every Monday night at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. and we're currently going through the Descent into Avernus adventure. There's a little bit of homebrew, throughout, as is natural. And it's similar to this, roleplay heavy. We use Roll20 for maps and things like that. But yeah, if you're interested, please come check us out on twitch.tv/storyreckless, or you can check our social accounts on Instagram, story.reckless, and Twitter, which I actually don't know our Twitter handle. I'll look that up and get it to you later. But yes, you can find us at both those locations.
It's a great show. I mean, you guys see what Nathan's like when he DMs here.
Thank you.
It's a fantastic show. Great players. Please check it out. It's on Mondays. Super easy to just pop in after work or while you're working. So
thank you. Yeah, that's it for me.
Yeah, I have nothing major right now. I think I'll just use the restroom myself.
Okay, yeah. Once you get back, I will probably also take a quick break. You know what? I'm actually going to use our card here, since we're all kind of taking a break here. So we will just be back soon, and we'll see you soon. Hi everybody, welcome back to Dress to Quest. We're about to jump right into the story once more, but I do want to pass it over to Jack to say a few words.
Thank you very much, Nathan. Yeah, just a couple of new things that I've developed at Project H2. I've mentioned before we have a comic and toy fair coming up here in Adelaide, Australia. So most of our live viewers are probably from the States, but I do get a fair few Aussie viewers that will catch up on the episodes later on, because here in Australia it's normal work hours. It's during the morning on a Monday. So I've actually created this pretty cool little item, and I'm going to be doing some more. And of course, it's based on one of the most awesome TV shows around, Stranger Things. So it's a proper LED glowing box. It changes colors, which is hard to catch on the camera here. It's designed to have the actual characters, Lego mini characters, sit on top. So it's pretty unique. It's got some great engravings, and of course upside down as well.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it's just got a LED battery on the back. You can change the settings on the side here, which you can change the color or your change of the rate of the light changes and flickering. And it's actually got some pretty cool engravings on top with acrylic as well. So you can actually use it without the minis too if you do not wish to have them, which I sell the minis now as well, if you're curious. So yes.
Awesome.
There you go. So it all lights up at night. It's hard to get the effect when everything's during the day, but at night it's amazing, and you get some really cool colors on your ceiling as well at your home. So that's one thing I'm working on. I'm bringing out a Harry Potter version as well as the boys. So I've got the 7 in Lego minis as well. So that's going to be released on this coming Monday. And I will actually have ready for sale our adventurous survival kits. And they will be at the fair as well for sale. So get yourself there. I will have these in stock to be sold. I've made up a batch for that event. There you go, that's all for me. Oh, and we have webpage now is projecth2.au. That's simple, projecth2.au. Come join us. A lot of the new products will be posted after the fair because I wanted to release them on the fair. Okay, so keep an eye out. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jack. I think that's it for announcements. We can go straight back into the story. So, as we pick up here, we see all of our heroes gathered around, finishing up their conversation, deciding what to do next. Determining that they will return back to Saltmarsh, they will drop the lizard folk off in the swamp at their rendezvous point, and you will meet up with Ashuak later after discussing with the council what had been discovered. However, if I understand correctly, you're going to omit the fact that there were lizard folk aboard and only divulge the fact that there are Sahuagin threatening the coastline.
That's an important thing, so
yes.
Ulrich's going to bring that up then.
Go for it, Ulrich.
Well, easy. We're going to have to pile a fib on top of a fib if we're going to tell them to know about the Sahuagin, but not how.
Oh, that's fine. We will just fib by omission.
Oh no, we lost somebody.
We just don't have to tell them.
So we won't tell them either.
I'm not comfortable with lying, I agree. If they ask, just, I don't know, obfuscate, or leave it to me. I'm good at that. There's one thing I forgot to mention because you were in the cabin. Oh dear.
Oh, we're good. Keep going.
This is something for everyone, but perhaps Shifty and Aspen would be the ones who would know this the most. Have you heard of someone named, or something named Avitus?
Avitus.
Would we know someone with that name?
Both of you make history checks for me.
Is this a private conversation between Ayuze and Vorik?
No,
is-
I'm asking Aspen and Shifty.
Okay.
I got a 5.
Got a 5? Okay. Yeah, you haven't heard this name.
Is it a history?
Never heard of him before.
History check, Shifty.
And you said what is the name of it again? Again, I didn't quite hear it very well.
Avitus.
Abaton?
Avitus.
Abatus, okay. Well, I roll I don't know. Did I roll? There he goes, 20.
20.
I'm alive. Sorry.
Sit around.
Sorry.
You've heard this name before. It is definitely an alias. You don't know the actual name of this individual, but this is someone who often. It is someone who is in control of a warehouse that acts as a front, and often will, give supplies out to smugglers illegally, dead of night, things like that. But this is, it's the alias for an individual that runs a warehouse in Neverwinter. They've never given their true name, and the actual owner of the warehouse will say, Shifty, maybe you've actually looked into it, is a different individual entirely. So they're clearly trying to keep their ties to this warehouse, as removed as possible.
What's it? How do you spell that? The Abatus is
Avitus. I believe it's actually Avitas, but Avitus works.
How do you say it in Australian?
Yeah, how do you say it in Australian?
Abitus.
Don't be silly. We call it your ass.
Your ass. Awesome. So yeah, Shifty, you've heard of it. I'll leave it up to you now to whether you tell the group or not.
Is that so? Well, it makes sense. I mean, this Abatus fella, he runs a warehouse up north in Neverwinter. Had to work in that warehouse once or twice to ship some goods. It's just, it doesn't look like one that to get around or whatever. But it's a place where you could drop off goods and get some other goods, and it's for trade, really.
Legal or illegal?
Sounds illegal to me.
Well, I think you and we need to have a discussion, because not everything I do is illegal, and hardly any of it's illegal. As you could ask the Admiral. He thinks I do stuff, but I don't.
Why are you so defensive? It's just a direct question.
You were not down there. You were not down there.
Is he a criminal or is he legit? That's it.
Let me make something
down here.
Let me make something clear here, Shifty. I could give a damn, but mostly I want to take care of the Lord's Alliance here and check off the next box. And it sounds like this warehouse is going to be a part of the picture.
But yeah, it's a place where people go there to trade under the table or over the table.
All right, fair enough. Just to share with you, pointed Salazar and said, "That's who he's working for."
Salazar is just skulking on the deck.
But Salazar didn't tell me that. He he didn't tell us that. Salazar tried not to think of it.
Yeah, and by the way, folk, we have 1,200 gold coming from the Lord's Alliance, as well as another 400 for old Toothless over there.
Oh, well, that's good to know.
But
I was wondering if we were going to have to sell him off to his ex-wife. Oh, sorry, one of his wives.
Maybe she's the one paying for it. Who knows?
Maybe all of them are. And I look at Salazar and say, "Shame on you."
I am nothing but a gentleman.
No, your answer is supposed to be, "I have no regrets."
That too.
You're saying you're a gentleman, but you break the one code of shipping, which is you don't mess with humans. You don't trade flesh, but you've been doing that.
Do you have
You're a
proof?
gentleman. You're a scum.
You have no proof of this.
Why do you think we're here?
I don't know.
We're
I
here to bust
was.
smugglers, really. Anyhow, I just thought I'd share that with the group. That was the intelligence that Sethrath and myself and Ren got from the good captain over there. Oh, did anyone else find anything? Did you find any books, notes, etc.?
Have we thoroughly searched the ship yet?
So
Also
that's
looking for
what I
weapons.
wanted to ask. So,
Yes.
are you all going to go through and search the rest of the ship? Okay.
I'd like to go to the captain's room.
Okay.
Yeah, I would be in there by now.
Yep.
I probably checked out of the conversation.
Yep.
When they started talking to the
Amazing.
captain.
It's amazing
And-
how only I and Ulrich know about the stuff in the captain's room, but everyone's
Oh,
like,
I didn't say I was going there to check things. I just wanted to sit here. I just wanted to sit my butt
Yeah.
on the captain's chair
Uh-huh.
and feel like
Yeah, sure.
a captain for it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So really quick, Aspen, you head in there. You sit down on the chair, lean back, throw your boots up on the desk.
Is it a comfy chair? Like, is it comfortable?
Yeah, it's so it's bolted like the table, or I guess I don't know if the chair is. I'm trying to think. The table is definitely bolted to the deck, but the chair is comfortable. It's padded, high backed. You lean back in it. Throw your boots up on the desk. Are you doing anything in here, or are you just napping essentially, or like taking
I
a second?
think I would try to talk to my mother while I was in here.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, let's get back to that in a second. We'll you and I will do that. What is everybody else doing? If we can kind of to simplify this, if you're just gonna search the whole ship, I will ask 2 people to make investigation checks, or 1 person with advantage if you're gonna help that person out.
I do have one quick question
Yes.
because I had some noise going on here you guys couldn't hear. When Sethrath had his discoveries, I didn't hear the whole bit. Can you please encapsulate for me?
Yes. What Sethrath gave you was, I believe, Sethrath, did you give him the stack of documents? Yes. So Sethrath gave you a stack of documents that were resting on the captain's desk, and did it in private, so just the 2 of you know about it. So it's up to you, Ulrich, to what to do with that.
And I also told Ulrich about the locked cabinet that had the magical
aura,
aura, and the aura was
necromantic.
Necromantic?
Yes.
And was there something else you said I stumbled? Oh, there's a chest.
There's a chest in there, and then the other room also had a chest. Yeah.
There you go.
So that's what
and
you
I
know.
said to you, I don't trust the other 2 at the moment. That's why I'm coming to you quietly and directly, and I'll leave it up to you how you want to handle it.
There we go. So let's start with that, Ulrich. What do you do?
Okay, so I will take a glance at the documents.
Mm-hmm.
When I know people are not near me.
Okay. So you take a glance at the documents. The documents. Let's see, where are these documents? Here they are. Okay. Looking through the documents. All right. So you find a ledger with various bills and receipts for items like marine supply. This seems to be some kind of like actual legit documentation to maybe try to, hide what's actually going on. You also find letters. You find 3 letters, and they are of an intimate nature. They are from, as you read through them, these are clearly 3 different pieces of handwriting, and they are each from Miss Salazar Snake Eyes. You also find a document that is written in Common. It's clearly somebody where Common is not their first language. So it's a little simple in its grammar, and there are some like grammatical errors.
Is there like extra S's?
Yeah, just so many S's on all the things. But it says more or less. It says, as for a previous arrangement, we will receive the goods, and upon receiving the goods, you will receive payment. And the signature is a little pictograph, and it shows essentially what looks to be a little stylized lizard with a forked tongue. You also that, I believe that's all you find with those documents. Yes, that is what you find with those documents. The other 2 drawers of the desk were locked, and Sethreth didn't do anything for it. And that's so that's what you get.
Okay. So after I look at them, I'll secret them away back under my cloak, and I'll go back to Sethreth, whatever he's doing. I say, Sethreth, you trust me, right?
I trust you, definitely.
All right. Well, I appreciate your candor, but we need to improve relations here. We're going to work well as a team. Aspen, Shifty, and then I'll motion for Rin and Aize or call them if they're not around.
Uh-huh.
I'll say, meet me in the captain's cabin.
Okay.
And
already
I'm
there.
keep the door open, by the way, so we can keep an eye on the people that are tied to the mast.
Okay, got it. So you call that out, and you do notice, as you look towards that captain's cabin, that Aspen is already in there. And then Shifty, it's really quick before we do this group thing, because you said you want to go into the captain's cabin. Were you trying to do something that...
Well, yeah, I was going to definitely go in there, because especially if Aspen's going there to
okay.
just like, whoa, but also to see if there's any documentation of this human smuggler, because that guy's not giving any.
Yeah, I mean, you go in there, and the desk is cleared, and the drawers are locked. You try to open the drawers. They are locked. You want to try to lockpick them?
Yeah, but I think she said she's going to communicate with her parent, person like that. So probably
yes. Okay, let's do that. Sorry to be jumping around, everybody. It was just a lot of people.
Or we can edit this. So it'll be more smooth.
Yeah. We'll do everything in post, and it'll be great. As you're all kind of gathering, finishing this up, Aspen, you go in there, set up, close your eyes, and reach out towards your mother. What do you do to reach out to her, and what do you say? What does this look like?
What I do is, for one, I will be speaking in Infernal.
Okay.
And I kind of like, with my battle axe, I kind of like slash the air and like open a void to see her face.
Okay. Here's a quick question though. Is this something that is visible to everybody? This is a pretty, if you are, and then it, like, that seems like something everybody would see, and I don't know if you're trying to keep this secret.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I won't do that then. I'll just, in my mind.
Okay. So you close your eyes, and in your mind you see darkness. And then suddenly you slowly see out of the darkness this, like, porcelain face start to emerge out of the inky gloom. And it's a very feminine face that has these black streaks running down across the eyes, down to the jawline. And she looks up at you and opens her eyes slowly, and you see these burning red and orange irises that seem to always be shifting and moving. And she looks at you in this darkened space in your mind. And she says, Aspen, my child, what can I do for you?
Mother, I need some guidance.
Oh, but of course.
I don't know what to do.
You
I
don't
feel like I'm...
know what to do.
Yes, this new group. I can tell that we're at odds. I can feel it. How do I don't know. How do I get them to trust Shifty and I?
Trust is something that must be earned, and earned through respect. You must show them that you are worthy, you must show them your strength. When I command many under me, they fear me, they see my strength, and they know what will happen to them if they disobey my orders. I know you have it within you. I can see it. I can feel the strength burning deep within you. Do you believe it yourself?
I don't want to rule. I don't want to lead by fear. That's not who I am.
I know. I know. This is where you are more like your father.
Don't do that.
I'm just stating what I observe. Well, my original advice still stands. You must at least gain their respect. How you do that, it does not need to be through fear. You must show them that you can offer them something. Show them that you can help. Are these not the answers that you seek?
Yes. I feel inclined to be like you. Should I strike a deal with them?
Deals are always good. And make it clear. Make sure everyone understands what is at stake, what is involved, and what everyone will be getting out of it at the end of the deal. Now, that being said, there are ways through words and language that you can add things that may benefit you a bit more than the others, if that's what you're seeking.
Well, all right then. One last thing.
Of course.
You see all. Do you think I can trust these people?
I see much. I do see much. Unfortunately, there is a lot that blocks my vision. I'm able to see much through you, my child, which I appreciate greatly. From what I've seen, Sethreth seems to be a good tool, one that can be directed and used. Aize, that one, there is a spark within him. I would trust what he says. Rin seems to be quite kind of heart. This can be beneficial. This can be used. She seems to be one that can garner trust in others. And Volric, he's definitely a leader. I would be careful with Volric, but he has been nothing but honest so far. And honesty is always good, because you can always trust what they say. And of course, you know my thoughts on Shifty.
Everybody has those thoughts on Shifty.
Tell us.
He does talk a lot and he is quite excitable, but he's reliable.
He is.
And he can get the job done.
He is. And he seems to have your best interests at heart, which is good. Very good, my child.
Well, Oh, thank you. I have to go now.
Just know that I am always with you. Whenever you pull that axe from the void, I will be there at your side.
And I thank you for that, Mother.
Of course. At this point, Aspen, you hear the door open behind you as Shifty comes into the room. What do you do?
I look at Shifty.
You're getting yourself comfortable, aren't you? Look at you in the chair.
Well, what can I say? That was a very long battle. All those people killed. Very taxing on my soul.
Bloodlust, right? Wow, these folk.
I know. I'm not used to people just downright murdering people without a conversation first, but we do it different here in Saltmarsh. We know this.
Aspen, you looked through the desk array, right? There anything left there? Because we got to figure out what's actually happening here.
I didn't come in here for that. I came in here to relax. I don't care what he has in here. What is going to be of use to? Nothing in here is of use to me, unless he has a bottle of whiskey or something.
No, there should be documents. There should be documents in here. Every captain has documents. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to get places, and they wouldn't know what to get and who. They have to have some kind of documentation.
I mean, the desk is right here. You can check.
I moved over there because she hasn't moved. Check them. They're locked.
Yeah, so Shifty, you go running up to the desk and see that these are both locked. As you get to the desk, you hear Volric call out. Now, you can do this and probably not be noticed. Do you go for it?
I just roll my eyes and have my back turned sideways, but because she's on the desk, so I'm tilted towards her. But I'm at the same time I pull out my my lockpick and just unlock I guess I'll probably only be able to do. I'm not sure how soon he does it, but
so what I want you to do is you hear Volric call out. You push your back up against, whip your lockpick out, and start. You're kind of doing it behind your back. Go ahead, make a sleight of hand check. I want to see if Volric notices as everybody's starting to go towards the captain's cabin.
He's still outside the captain's door. I was actually thinking about turning myself sideways, I'm like this, I'm facing Aspen, and the drawer is in front of me.
Got it.
On the side, so I can just kind of
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Quickly do a lockpicking check for me and see if you can pop this open.
I'm gonna do a perception.
Yeah. One moment. So you get a 14. Okay. You quickly pop open the door. It slides open. As Volric and everybody's starting to walk towards the room, you see some documents within. Are you gonna just try to grab them, and what are you gonna do?
I just kind of scoop my butt to kind of scoop. Well, actually, it wouldn't be my butt because they're so high, right?
Yeah.
I just kind of use my elbow and just kind of elbow it shut, and I just kind of elbow it shut to just put it back to shut, whatever, and then turn to face them, know, talking with Aspen.
Okay, and so you're not trying to grab the documents out. You just okay, got it. Okay, so you do that. I will say this was quick enough. You're able to do it just as you close it. Volric, you are coming into the room, so there's no contested checks here. Volric, you come stepping in with everybody else. I'm assuming Rin and Aize and Sethreth are all coming in. You're out now, all standing in the captain's cabin. Volric, you have everybody there. What do you do?
I say, if you're inclined to, have a seat. And I'll point to...
I was ready, but thank you.
Yeah, I'll point to the bed and maybe even the desk, things that people could sit on if they want to.
Okay.
And I'll kind of center myself to the group, and I'll say, looks like the theme today is the word trust.
Hmm.
And I pull out of my cloak, and I put all the papers down on the table.
Okay.
I say, found these earlier. Also, and I'll point to the drawers that I know are locked. Say, there's a necromantic magic coming from one of those.
I can take care of that, or at least open them. One of them was already open here.
And I'm trying to make a point as well. So.
What kind of point you making? You came in here earlier, like, well, what's on the documents?
Well, I can only speak for myself. But for the most part, I'll support whatever naughty things you have cooking in the background. But we need to know what's going on, as long as it's not completely adverse to what we intend, or doesn't have no one here has an issue with it. And we just help you out. We'll let it slide. I'm not asking you to tell me what's going on right now. If there was something going on, we're not quite sure. But if we can have full disclosure as a group, I think we'll be on the same page. I think we can trust each other a little bit better. What do you think? And I'm going to be obviously directing it towards Aspen and Shifty.
Got it.
Trust about what? Because we were all on the ship together. We got you here safely. And y'all came on the ship and started doing your thing. And we were trying to secure the cargo. We did. Unfortunately, there were no weapons or anything else down there. We were hoping to find some humans because I didn't want them to be killed before we were able to get down to them. That's why I wanted to get down there fast.
Yeah, understood. I'm talking about moving forward. I didn't have to tell you about these documents. I could have waited till you folks were asleep and have Sethreth just manhandle that door, that drawer, and pull out the magic item, whatever it is. But I'm trying to tell you here, we can be open with each other, moving forward. What do you say?
I look over at Aspen.
I'll look over to Ren.
Mm-hmm.
You seem to be the kindest one in this group. Tell me why we should trust you.
Well, probably because I'm the second youngest. I think what Volric's trying to say is being open about why we're here. Because...
And why are you here?
Well, that part, sometimes I'm wondering that myself, but I believe in doing what needs to be done in order to make sure people don't hurt. Pretty simple.
And what about you? Aize, right? I mean, Volric seems to be, yes, he seems to be your leader, but I want to hear from everyone.
Oh, well, I'm a representative of a secret cabal of agents in Termish who are determined to gather enough information for world domination. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Thanks for adding that.
I'm a librarian. That's all I have. Ooh, a moment here. Archive, you didn't remind me. I have to put my rings back on. I am a librarian. I seek knowledge. I gather information, and I agree with Rin. You know, do the right thing, and be good for goodness sake. For goodness sake, and for that matter, and knowledge, magic, treasure. I mean, we are adventurers at heart. We're just not scum about it. To give you some context, the last mission that we're on, we were to raise a curse off an entire island to free the humans and lizard men of the island of the clutches of a horrible, horrible, horrible creature.
And how did that turn out?
You know, more or less we succeeded. And then we find ourselves cast out in the Saltmarsh, well, out here, and well, we're looking for more stuff to do. I think that's about right, Rin?
It wasn't without casualties.
Two of our numbers fell, unfortunately.
I'm sorry to hear that. I hope they were torn.
But that's me, in a nutshell.
And I already know what your deal is. No, to Sephiroth.
Oh, of course you do. Yeah.
You just like to punch people. You know what, Volric? I'm sorry, Sephiroth? You wanted to say
I was
something?
just agreeing with you. I do like punching people, and I give her a death stare.
By all
My
means, I'm standing
glow
right
red.
here. I'm not afraid of you,
Oh, that's all right, princess.
princess. I look to Vorik. You have been nothing but transparent with us. And moving forward, you won't have any problems with us. As I usually said, we're gonna do the right thing. But I do have a question. How do you know if something is the right thing to do? Because I'm sorry.
Well, Ulrich the Gray does, of course, match the color of my hair. But I've been on this planet long enough to see the world as gray. I do appreciate the lightness of the world, and I do steer towards it. There's certain things that I won't tolerate. But I think it's pretty clear. If you're not a zealot, what's wrong, what's right? There's some things that were going on in this place years ago with the tyrants of Umberly, slavery, there's wanton murder, thievery, depends on who's stealing from who, right? Long story short, I'm a little bit more flexible than Shifty might think. But when I'm on a mission, I'm on a mission. And I tend to hold to my agreements.
Well, all right then. Shifty and I will accompany you. You won't have a problem with us. But I will
I'm a bit curious. What were you looking for? Both of you, straight away, down into the belly of the ship, smashing up barrels.
That's where all the enemies were. Did you not see them coming out? We had to fight them.
So the barrels were the enemy that you had to destroy.
Well, no. As I finally take
You
some.
want us to be honest? You be honest.
I say no, and I wipe the actual blood off of my rapier. That wasn't. The barrels were not the only thing down there, but there were some, I guess you could say, I look over Aspen, casualties of the things, but we went down there because if you know ships, you know where they keep cargo, and we already know that there was possible human smuggling here. And we also know that's where a lot of bad things typically stay. Either you have the captain, and then you have the people who are down below. We weren't able to close the door, but that's why I wanted to get down there ASAP, and that's why I threw a cloud up, because I didn't want to be slaughtered as soon as I got down there.
Okay. Just one more question, which you still haven't answered. Why were you both smashing up all the barrels? What were you looking for?
He said we were looking for something. What if we just wanted to have a good time?
Well, you got angry at me having a good time punching someone, so...
Oh, I don't... Listen, as long as you don't murder innocent people, I don't care what you do. All I was trying to tell you is that's not how things run in Saltmarsh. People punch back.
Still going around the bush. Why were you smashing up barrels?
He wasn't.
We were having a good time. And that's the end of that.
You obviously. Did you not see the cloud? We could only hear where the people were coming from.
Real quick, go ahead, Shifty and Aspen, make deception checks. Jack's already made the insight.
And it's terrible.
Yeah. Okay, 15.
Oh, Shifty, good liar, old Shifty.
Yeah. 14.
Oh, they're both good bloody liars.
Yeah. So I mean, Sethrath, as far as you can tell, they're being truthful. It got messy, and they destroyed those barrels in the conflict.
It was foggy down there.
I can interject, Sethreth. I think it's fine to let this one slide. My whole point when I brought everyone in here was talking about moving forward, not things that have happened. But also, I wanted to address a word I've heard the two of you toss back and forth today about murder, about the way we went about things on this ship. I was just anticipating the way things would go. Let me put you in their shoes. You're some kind of wanton, bad arse pirate. Maybe you have a hook for a hand. Maybe you've got this itching to fight. There's a whole crew of you. You stink, you're hungry, you're ready to find yourself at the next tavern. And then a small group of overconfident wanderers come aboard and say, we want you to stop this and tell us what's going on. I know what would happen. They try and murder us. So I was just doing it first.
I don't think those lizard people, which would have been murdered outright, had I not stepped in, would have felt the same way.
I had no intention of taking them out. You saw how
but he
went,
did,
right?
He did, and I point to Sephiroth.
You know me very little, young lady.
I don't know you, but I can tell by the way you act in situations
because
that
I murdered the captain. That's what I did, correct? Bit of salt water never kills no one, especially a pirate.
He was already tied up. All you had to do was talk to him. You didn't have to take him and cast him over the edge of the ship. Is that how they do it where you're from?
Oh, we do far worse.
Somehow that's not surprising.
Mm-hmm.
I just roll my eyes.
What you see is what you get. Can we all say the same?
I look at Volric and I say, you say you run with the lawful crowd, but where we're from here, we make sure people stay safe that are innocent. And we make sure that people who are not safe or who are not in the best interest of a town or the people of innocence, they don't have that guarantee of protection. But that's why we do the things we do. That's why I snuck in instead of coming in with horns blowing, so that we could get the drop. I have no problem with you neutralizing, which is our mission, neutralizing the captain and getting control of the situation of the board, but we would be quickly overrun if we did not make sure that we were doing what we were doing as well. All of this is part of working as a group, I think. Because
are you still defending yourself? Because you don't need to defend yourself.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying I don't understand exactly what the group is, because he's saying he tortures people, and we don't do that. We can't do that.
He's just saying where he's from, that these things happen. You've been outside of Saltmarsh, I assume. You don't just putz around in your boat and dream about having a bigger boat?
No.
All
I'm
right,
in the trading business. I help get things back and forth.
Cultures.
For the Alliance or for whoever.
We just came from a place where our greatest allies were cannibals. It's cultures. But so far as our group's concerned, we've never tortured anybody, and Sephiroth has never knocked the teeth out of or beheaded or disemboweled or delimbed or otherwise eviscerated something that didn't deserve it. So
I will put my foot up on the captain's, and you can see the bloody lizard boots. The lizard boots.
I say, and yeah, personally, I'm here for two reasons. One is because I like to fight. There's nothing better than a good row.
Yeah.
Just going at it, giving and taking. That's when you know you're alive. Secondly, I want to do a little good. I want to affect people's lives in a way that will make things better. Gives me a little more meaning, Oh, and okay, a third, treasure. I like treasure. I like things that are pretty. I like ingots. But yeah, we're a good group. I promise you that. Sephiroth is just good at killing, and makes you think that he's a bad guy, but he's not.
To be fair, we just came from a place where everything was actively trying to kill us. So, I think our friend just needs a little bit of time to recover. I wouldn't run in this crowd if I thought he was a complete loose cannon.
I trust what she says.
So I would offer we continue this. Shifty, maybe you can lockpick your way into those cabinets before you have to tear them apart. Find out what's going on with that necromantic magic. And by the way, probably be careful.
Yeah, no. If we're gonna commandeer, you're gonna be my first mate. We need to work together with this, and we don't want to destroy the property. It's gonna be ours. And I'm sure I look over at Ize, and I'm sure after listening to you, that we can definitely make sure that we have a decent boat to actually do what we need to do. Because mine, it's good enough to get from place to place quickly, but not as efficiently, I should say, especially for long voyages. This bad boy, though, whew, we got to get her a name.
I got a name. I'll tell you what. And there's 6 of us here, so I'm putting this out here. Aize, Rin, Sethrith, Aspen. Tell me what you think. But if we can get this boat, if the Lord's Alliance agrees to us having this, whatever the arrangement is, I don't mind being second mate to Shifty as long as I can name the boat.
That works for me. Aspen, what do you think? I mean, you and me get to share these 2 quarters here, and they keep everybody in line because we're going to probably need some extra people, extra hands on deck. And they need to have a little bit of fear in their life. That's how you commandeer a boat, respect and fear. And I don't think they're going to all do that with me sometimes. I don't really emit that kind of a...
we do fear that you never shut up.
All right,
He's not wrong, Shifty. You did talk a lot.
So as this conversation is coming to a close, Shifty, are you gonna go unlock the? Oh, there you go. Okay. Whoa, that was a lot of.
How many drawers there are, but that's one for each door.
There was only 2. But I will take that 28. Okay, you were easily.
Twice.
Yeah. You were easily able to unlock the remaining drawers. What you find in one. So one of them. The
top one that I already opened?
Yeah, so that one had the documents. Pulling those documents out, you find various sea charts and coastal localities throughout being presented. But you find one map that looks to be a bit more crude. And this one shows, you recognize immediately, this is the coastline kind of around Saltmarsh and going south. And you see the Mirror of Dead Men. And you see a spot, we'll say it's an X, and again, written in crude common, it essentially says, meet for pickup here. And Volric, you looking over at this, you recognize the writing matches that of the other document that you had that talked about receiving goods. Popping over to the other chest, you pop it open. And I'm just going to give this to you with a 28, because you technically unlocked that first one already. So this 28 goes to the second one. You unlock it. You are able to also spot the trap within and disarm it. It looks like it was there was a blade within it that as you opened it, it was going to swing up out of the drawer to slash someone across the face. And you are able to disarm that trap before it triggers. Inside of...
I'm sorry, I just going to look back at everybody and you see that? That almost got me.
And you can see, it's just limply sitting there where Shifty was able to cut the tension line where it would have originally just sprung up and hit him in the face. Within that chest, you find... 2 potions that you pull out, and there's another vial of something resting within there as well. The potions have like a thick red viscous fluid within. You at this point being level 5 adventurers, you all recognize these are potions of healing. So 2 potions of healing. The other vial is something you're not sure exactly. Shifty, I'll let you make an investigation check for me as you look at it.
Investigation or Arcana?
You can do Arcana do you have Arcana as a skill?
I just not as a skill. Just
okay.
I have 2 in Arcana and 2 in Investigation.
You don't have Investigation as skill. Okay. Then yeah, dealer's choice. Go ahead. Whatever you would prefer.
Are any of those items he's pulling out the ones that had the magical glow?
Are you gonna trigger your so you trigger it. So I need to clarify something to all of you here because this is something I do in my world, but you trigger it and the necromantic aura is coming off of the health potions. In my world, necromancy is tied to healing because necromancy does not inherently mean evil. It's just another form of manipulating the forces of life and death. And so that necromancy is radiating off of those health potions. The other vial has nothing radiating off of it. You got a 10. You recognize it's just antitoxin. So if someone were to ingest this, it'll give you advantage on saving throws against poison for an hour.
I hand this antitoxin to I say, well, this is looks like an antitoxin, so I guess they were expecting to get some maybe some bug bites over there in the swamp. And I hand it over to Aspen or just put the stuff beside me as I'm doing it, and then is there anything else in the chest? Was that the chest or was that the drawer?
Yeah. So then you go do the chest.
The chest, I didn't want to check for locks. I wasn't thinking for the drawers, but the chest definitely.
The chest. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. So I got a little confused here, and that's fine. The chest was the one that had those potions in it, and that was the one that you found that trap, and you were able to disable it. So that's everything you find in this room. So to kind of speed things along here, because I know you all want to investigate the ship, right? I would like to, like I was saying earlier, so 2 people can make investigation checks, or 1 person can make it with advantage, as you all start spreading out and going through the ship and seeing what you can discover. From that point, based on what you get, I will reveal the things that you find.
I've got +8 on investigation.
Okay.
I'd like to.
Can I give him, whoever is going to do it, I'll give them guidance.
Okay, cool. So whoever does it gets a guidance. So Aize, would you like to do it?
I'll do it.
Okay. And does somebody want to help?
If anyone had higher than me.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it with. But I would like to guide him to look for actual secret compartments where they might smuggle humans, because that's kind of the biggest concern to me.
Totally, yeah. Okay, so Aize, you get advantage on this roll. Go ahead. Okay.
22.
Woo! All right. So going through this ship with Shifty's help, and Shifty, you being very aware of like how smuggler ships work, are able to guide Aize to the exact spots on where to look. You're pointing things out, and you do find more traps throughout that you. I'm not gonna have you roll. It's fine. This is like, yeah. We're gonna speed this up a little bit because I don't want to go room by room like a dungeon crawl for this. It would be, I think, kind of boring. So you go through. And Aize, you find... there's a lot on this ship. In the quarters where the mage was, you find a spell scroll of Gust of Wind in their quarters. You also find their spell book. So I can give you all their spells after the stream. I'll do that off stream.
Archive!
Oh, wonderful!
This will be delicious for you.
I've been quite starving lately. This will be wonderful.
So you find that. In the crew quarters, you just find a bunch of various, clothing. You find a set of dice. It's nothing really that valuable. You find a book titled Grog Hovels, which Shifty, as you just quickly flip through it, you recognize like a bunch of taverns you've been to, and this is almost like a guide of all the taverns on the northern Sword Coast, and like little things about which ones are good, which ones are bad, and whatnot. It's almost like a traveler's guide.
This is out of date. That's a lot.
You in the cargo hold, you obviously there's all of the stuff within there. So there are, I'm just going to give you the values of all this. You are also able to kind of, Shifty, you would know, all of this is clearly stolen from merchants within Saltmarsh. So we can later decide whether you tell people or not. But there are 50 bolts of silk. Each of those is worth 50 gold. There are 40 casks of fine wine. Each of those are worth 7 gold.
Are there still 40 casks?
Yes, because then there were 40 more casks of something that it, or brand, you know, it was scotch. You could smell it. It was like some kind of whiskey or something. But
Actually,
those are all
there's
destroyed.
39 casks that are full.
39 casks. Oh, because that's right. You did. That's right. There are only 30 of wine because one of the wine barrels was drained.
So 30 casks of wine worth how much each?
39 worth 10 gold. And you also find a large crate of high quality mining tools, and you Shifty recognize these are from the mining or the big operation going on in Saltmarsh to build the canal. You recognize like some insignia on the crates that is for that mining company. Going through the rest of the ship. Oh yes, this is great. You going through the cargo hold, you go back into one of the quarters, and as you open the door, you pop it open, and immediately you hear this flutter of wings, and you see a bird, which looks to be a brightly colored parrot, resting on a little wooden branch that's been like nailed to the wall. And it's really scraggly. It's like missing all of its feathers around its neck, but it has feathers on its head and body, so it looks really odd. It has this like little turkey neck, and then like a poof of feathers on the top, and then the bottom is a poof of feathers. And it goes,
oh, that's so sad.
You're terrible. You're a dickhead. And it just is like looking at you.
And that's potty mouth.
And
I love this bird.
it just
What
starts.
do parrots taste like? I wonder.
You're a butt face. And it just starts screeching obscenities at you as it's sitting there. But going through this,
I think his name is Tourette's.
going through this cabin, you find a chest that Shifty's able to unlock, and within there, you find 200 silver pieces. There is a spear that is very it is clearly not made by humans. Like there's something about it that it catches you. The design of it is very elegant, probably elven in nature, but it has all of these engravings that run down the staff that are almost like stylized waves running throughout. If Sethreth is with you using your magic detection, it's not magical. It's just a spear. You find a dagger of similar design, also mundane. There is a completely ruined crossbow, which again has the same kind of design. And there's a folded bit of like leather armor, maybe made from, as you're kind of feeling it, it has like a rough texture when you push in the opposite direction. It might be cured shark hide. And it has little seashells woven throughout it. You also find a holy symbol that you're looking at, and it's a gauntleted fist, as well as some chainmail resting in there, and a mace, all mundane. As well as there is also a rapier that is I misread that. There's no rapier. Then the other cabin, you find another chest which has it just 500 silver pieces within there.
800 total.
Yeah. Finally, as you are going through all this, you go to the back wall where that parrot is sitting, squawking at you, screeching obscenities, and Yize, Shifty is kind of guiding you and pointing out, like, usually there might be like hidden compartments here for smuggling cargo. And as you look, you spot a seam in the wall where the wood paneling comes together. And within that wood paneling, there is a smaller seam that looks like you can press in. And as you press in, you hear a click, and you're able to kind of push, and an entire false wall slides to the side, revealing a chamber on the other side. As it slides open, I'm going to put you both down there so that you can see this. We'll just put the whole group down there, actually. We'll say that you're all kind of, you're all kind of doing this together.
Bingo.
Yeah. The false wall slides to the side as you're all standing there. And what it reveals is something. I know everybody's just so tense with anticipation right now. So forgive me for taking a moment. Okay, it slides aside. Within, you see two figures that are manacled to the wall.
Oh, I knew it.
One of them is a slender, elf-like humanoid who's slumped off to the side of the wall, chained up. They have dark blue skin that runs down the kind of the backside of them that blends around the shoulders into a lighter blue color on the chest and face. He has long green hair, which is just in complete shambles. It's kind of cascading around the face as he looks up weakly towards you all. The face itself, the eyes are a bit bulbous and almost fish-like. And around the neck, you almost see what looks to be like gills or some sort of gill-like features that protrude off the side of the neck. The hands and feet themselves are webbed, and you can see that he's in this rough burlap clothing and just like chained up to the wall. To the right of him, you see what looks to be a human, a stocky woman with olive skin. Her hair also kind of greasy and in shambles, but she has this what's probably straight. It's a little curled and ratty from not being able to maintain it, but straight black hair, shaved on one side. And as she looks up, she has these bright blue eyes, and she as well wears similar rough burlap clothing. This clothing, those of you that Aspen and Shifty, you recognize this was the same clothing that the young man who washed up on shore a 10-day ago had the same clothing on. So this is what you see. You see these two figures. They look up at you, kind of straighten up. The woman looks towards you all and weakly just says, "Water. Please, water."
Please, allow me. I pull out my canteen.
And then
Give it to her.
she gestures her head towards the other individual. "For him. Splash him, please."
I pour the water into his gills.
You splash it over his head, and you see him kind of just relax with relief as the water starts to splash over him.
I take it that that's your stuff in the other room?
She weakly nods. Volric, what were you going to say?
Yeah, I want to kneel down. They're obviously in very, very bad shape. Does it look like they're wounded or just completely malnourished?
Make a medicine check.
Is this?
I was gonna also ask the same. I was gonna ask if I could make a medicine check.
Yeah.
As well.
Go ahead. Both of you make medicine checks. And then Shifty, what was that?
Did we find a door? Or did we find a window? Like, are we?
It was a door.
Okay.
This is a completely enclosed room. So the false door slid open, revealing this small little chamber.
Okay. Oh wow.
Woo! All right, and Space, you got an 11. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, both of you are able to tell. They are definitely malnourished. Volric, with a natural 20, what you pick up on is that there is a head wound on the woman, kind of at the back of her head, and it looks clearly like she, had experienced. And it's old, it's easily a 10-day old. But it's scabbed over, and there's the hair there is kind of crusted over with really old dried blood, and it looks like she probably received a head wound that you suspect knocked her unconscious. for this elf figure, yeah, you don't notice anything else. He just looks really malnourished.
Right.
There's
Well,
no other.
He has gills, you said, right?
He does have gills.
Water,
He does seem like he's able to breathe air. He is amphibious for sure, but the water splashing over him, it seems like it was almost being like drawn into the skin, right? Almost like an amphibian, right? He just had not been exposed to water and likely needs water more regularly than land-based creatures.
Right.
I'm gonna give my water.
Okay. Are you gonna?
That's right. Can you get some buckets? Buckets of water.
All right.
Okay, so Sethreth, you go off, find some buckets, easy enough. You're doing that.
I'm gonna immediately go for those manacles. If I have to, I will grow and manhandle them and pull them out of the wall, or otherwise smash them with my magic sword.
Okay.
Lockpick, if you want.
Okay, how big is this door?
It's like I actually it's a little deceiving what I have there. Imagine like 1 5-foot square, right? Like has slid open to reveal the interior. But really quick, I want to resolve this. So Volric, you go in to grab onto the manacles. Shifty offers the lockpick. What do you do?
I'm obviously suddenly super focused and maybe even angry.
Got it. Okay.
As I go to just
So go ahead. Make a strength check. Are you gonna grow?
Well, so I know it's a small spot, so I'm gonna angle myself
small.
some kind of halfway outside of the room.
Okay.
As I reach out, yeah.
Okay, so you are gonna grow. If you're gonna grow, go ahead and make it an advantage as you make this athletics check to like. So Shifty, as you offer the manacles, suddenly Volric pushes past, like so focused, grabs onto him, and you watch him swell like the Hulk and just and start pulling on these chains.
And
hands and knees, like scratching out of there.
As I'm pulling, I say, Aspen, you want to know if I know good from wrong? Well, this is as wrong as you can get. And I've got a 15.
You start to pull on the chains. You feel like you're not quite going to be able to break the chains, but as you pull, they just ping and pop off the wooden wall and clatter to the ground. So they're still chained up, and they're no longer in this really uncomfortable position. They drop to the floor, kind of panting from the effort of being held up, but they do still have the manacles on their hands and feet.
Yep.
They look up immediately. The elven figure says a language. What languages do you know, Volric?
Just common and giant.
Okay, so you don't recognize it. Rin, you are in the room. You recognize this is Elvish. It is, it's like a different variety of Elvish, right? So you understand it, but there's like some differences. Where it's like every once in a while there'll be a word said and you're like, I'm not used to that.
Like a different dialect.
Exactly.
Like Cockney,
Welsh. So they look up at Volric and say, thank you so much. Thank you. But Volric, you just hear Elvish going back to you.
And just like very, very, very quietly, like just saying that she's saying thank you.
This is him. He's the elf is a man. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. In that one.
All right, so they're resting there, manacles on the ground. Sethreth, you come into the room with the buckets. Did you just go fill up some seawater?
Yep. Seawater.
Okay, come in with these buckets full of seawater.
Will this do?
You see the elf look, and the eyes get wide. They don't seem to understand what you said, but they just notice you holding these 2 buckets sloshing with water, and they're just kind of looking at you expectantly.
I lower it down at their feet and step back.
They lean forward and with their bound hands just start to scoop the water out and just kind of gently let it cascade over their back. You just see them relaxing with relief, and they kind of keep scooping the water up and splashing it over them.
We're lucky we found them. They would have perished if we hadn't have.
The woman looks at both of you. He does not speak any common. Would one of you be able to take these off of us. We're so thankful for this. Thank you.
Yes. I say, yes. Now I say safe. And then if either one of them look like they're down hit points, I'm going to use word of healing on whichever one seems to be the most hurt.
Okay. Yes. So with your medicine check, you can tell they aren't necessarily down hit points. They just are suffering from, mechanically, they're suffering from levels of exhaustion. Right. But if you want to still do this as just like a role play moment, that's
exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. I would say the elf looks worse for wear. So as you lay your hand, are you doing healing word? Okay. You say these words out. You watch them. They suddenly close their eyes and relax, and then they open these almost strange, bulbous, fish-like eyes and look at you. They are quite striking and beautiful as they open up with these aquamarine colors kind of pulsating outwards. And again, in Elvish, they just say, thank you so much. I appreciate this so much, thank you. And they keep splashing water on themselves.
When you're better, you can tell us what happened.
And yeah, the woman again looks around the room. Thank you. We're so thankful. If you could just get these manacles off.
Yeah. So I turn to Shifty.
All right, Shifty, you're gonna try to unlock them.
I come over and definitely unlock them with a 28.
Oh my goodness, yes, easily. So the manacles fall off.
So I'd like to very quickly give us an extra minute at the end because we have somebody who asked some questions I wanted to answer.
Yes, let's wrap this up. So as you get these manacles off, they clatter to the ground. All of you standing there looking at these figures, and the woman looks towards you all, kind of standing up. She's pretty short, stocky build. Looks you all over. Thank you. Have you seen my brother, Frederick? Have any of you seen him? He's a human, a young man. He looks similar to me. Have any of you seen him?
I'm sorry to say we have.
Where is he?
He's passed, lady.
We don't say his name anymore.
And she just drops to her knees and looks distraught as you all stand there with these two individuals in front of you. And we're going to end there on this really sad note. But thank you. Sorry. Thank you everybody for joining us. And yeah, go ahead, Eric. You said you wanted to say something here at the end.
Thanks, Nathan. Nathan said he's not going to set up cliffhangers, but we always have these great endings. So the DJ Badger had a few questions. One is, what are our subclasses? So I'm a Rune Knight fighter. But I'm a second level bard, so I'm working towards. I'm either going to be a swords, College of Swords, or I may be a Valor bard. I'm still working on that. You guys want to tell them what your subclasses are?
Yeah. Here, I'm just to direct this. Why don't